Welcome back, crew. Thanks for joining us. A little late for our July game of the month, Stars Without Number. We're going to be diving into our actual play of the system, showing you how this game runs, and getting into a pretty old school OSR type adventure, but in space. So today, before we dive into it, we will be doing, as always, a giveaway for one of a PDF of the core system. This time a little bit different. Usually I cover the cost for these, but Kevin Crawford, the author of the Stars Without Numbers system, was definitely kind enough to give us one of the premium or one of the paid version or a free version of his paid PDF to give away to one lucky viewer. One cool thing about the Stars Without Numbers system is even if you don't win, the way Kevin does it for all of his system, Stars, Worlds, all without number games, is there's a huge, robust version of of the rules in a free version. And the nice thing with it too is you can even get a PDF of the free version. We'll make sure to link that in as well too for anybody who doesn't luck out and get a chance of the paid copy. And let me get the Nightbot set up. But basically, you'll just be able to put star or SWN into the chat and get a chance to win a free version of that copy. And once again, shout outs to Kevin Crawford for helping sponsor that too. Man, let's dive into it. So before we get into our setup for the adventure, one thing I want to say both to the audience and the crew. This is it's an OSR style game. So I know sometimes with sci-fi you kind of get that Star Warsy vibe where you're a little bit invincible. The stormtroopers are shooting and missing at you, and you can kind of walk through fire and accomplish your objective. This is a true OSR style game, old school Renaissance, where you've got where death lurks behind every corner. This I would one of the nice things with this style is combat is violent and usually pretty quick, with a high chance of the heroes kind of dying. I'll mention. But the nice thing with this is ingenuity, cleverness, kind of finding ways outside of combat and using combat sparingly can come pretty far and help you kind of stay ahead of the craziness. So I'll just throw that out there for the crew so you guys have a heads up on that side. But yeah, let's get into it. So we've got our crew is aboard a merchant ship, kind of in the outer reaches of space, traveling between the major space lanes. They're a crew of scavengers. They go through and looking for some of the easy pickings of either ships that may have crashed or finding resources amongst the stars. And today, they've kind of hit the payload. They've come across the star cruiser Acadia, a cruiser owned by Vissen Corp, a large mega corporation that spans the galaxy, known for setting up colonies on worlds and taking all of the resources they can and bringing them back to their hub to sell or redistribute and put to other ventures. A corporation where credits are king and they've got mountains of them. And you find this ship kind of damaged, drifting in space, a hulk, kind of a ruin of its former self. It looks to be battered, and you see some holes through its hull. This kind of once pretty streamlined and kind of shining star cruiser definitely looks like it's been seeing worse days. But you know, with these ships, there's always a good haul within them. From your scanners, you can see that this one is heavy with some type of cargo. And coming from a colony world, you know there's chance for credits, resources, things that could go pretty well on the black market that could, if not let you retire off, at least let you sit pretty for a little bit. But we're going to get into who your PCs are. But before we do that, what does you got a little merchant class ship? It's definitely not one that's great in a fight. It's got some little armor, some weapons, but it's mainly good for hauling a ton of freight across the stars. I'm going to pick on each person to kind of give a little bit of a detail of what this ship looks like. So Oh, and actually, before we do that, everybody, we'll go into what your PC looks like and a little bit about your PCs, but I'm blanking now. Everybody, what's your PC's name? And Rage, I'll pick on you first.
So I am Edgar Miller. I am a former um, soldier, now going into more of a soldier of fortune sort of situation. So I've become disenfranchised by the military operations and have separated myself from them for one means or another, and am now venturing the stars with this motley crew. Edgar still sports his shaven head, as typical for more soldierly types. A habit he can't seem to kick. He just doesn't seem to be bothered with wanting to grow out and maintain long hair. So he's keeps a clean shave, both on his face and the top of his head. Muscular build. Um, Prefers to hit things rather than shoot things. So kind of a in your face kind of guy.
Perfect. Edgar, so with that, what does your spaceship look like? It's a merchant class ship, definitely bigger hull, definitely made to run freight versus fight. But give us a little color to it. What's that ship look like?
Um, So, from a purely tactical standpoint, because it's not designed to fight, um, it has a very uh, dark paint schematic to it. All the running lights are kept low or disabled as much as possible in order to avoid it visibly being picked up by various scanners, things like that. Obviously, that doesn't do anything against other tech, but it would help against primitives who maybe have gotten into space as well.
Nice. Perfect. Who wants to go next?
I am Ratchet. I too do not have a functional screen. And I am an expert gunslinger soldier. A history of violence. But I'm trying very hard not to be a murder hobo. My name is Ratchet. I tinker with things and I shoot things and I look like an average person. Unremarkable. You'd forget him in a heartbeat because there's just nothing special there to latch your eyes onto.
Nice. And with that, so this ship's got kind of that matte black, definitely kind of way to hide. What's something you and the crew have done with this ship before? Like what's a past story that you guys have gotten up to?
We got away from trouble once. There were cops, and then we got away from them. We used our tools, such as hidey holes and jammers, to evade the law.
Okay, so you guys are scavengers, probably sound like a little bit of smugglers too, right?
I definitely have things that the cops don't want me to have, and I want to keep those things. So yes, smuggler be me.
Perfect. All right, last but not least, what's your PC's name? What do they like? And we got a question for you too.
Yes, I'm playing Medsphere. He's kind of a middle-aged guy, but stands out in a few interesting ways. He doesn't really seem to fit in with the culture or the style here. His outfit is elegant, but has been worn for months and months. Definitely seems like the kind of guy who gets around. But in fact, he's from an earlier era, was in cryosleep for hundreds of years before being woken up in this time period. And so he kind of struggles a bit with how things are going, and is not the most sociable person. But he seems to have a knack for a few techniques that make him worth bringing along with the crew. He sometimes brings up something called the angels that he follows, but what that really is not super clear. And he always has this sort of glazy look in his eyes, as if when he's talking to you, he's looking at something beyond you, but all of the time.
Perfect. I'll give you the hard one. What's the name of your ship?
Let's see. So we're a pretty stealthy smuggler ship. Let's go. I mean, so I mentioned my character had these sort of angels that he's interested in. We'll call it the Angel's Arrow.
Perfect. So you guys are aboard the Angel's Arrow. You see this derelict of the Acadia floating in space ahead of you. You see that you approach, no comms come through. If you try to comm them, they don't respond. You see with the scanners that some of the power still seems to be on, the flickering. You see life support in most areas is functional. But kind of according to all scans, this thing's been knocked out. It's been damaged and near scuttled with how bad it's been brought down. But there's a good haul ahead. How do you guys approach it? What's the crew thinking as they see this prize floating in space?
I'll probably say to the others, well, once again, the angels told me right where to go. I knew Fortune would be here.
Did your angels tell us to use the scanners? Because I feel like we should do that. Ratchet says flippantly.
They don't tell me everything, but they give hints here and there, and the rest is kind of up to us. So it's probably a good call.
Well, your angels have never screwed us before. I say with certain confidence.
Edgar would be just kind of staring ahead through the view screen, just trying to study for any signs of threat that he can determine from the outside. He would be interested in what the scanners have to say so far as determining an age of the wreck, or if there's any information available on whatever, intergalactic network there might be to registry this thing.
Perfect. Make a notice check for me.
Sure.
The one thing I'll mention as you're doing that, because you're going to get a prompt as well. Stars Without Number is a little bit unique. So none of the attributes are tied directly to a skill. You get to kind of make your case for it. So is your character one that notices more through kind of an innate wisdom? Or are they more one that breaks down through intelligence and to kind of check out and see everything that's around? I'll let you make that argument.
Well, as soon as I can find that button.
Let me see. Yeah, so if you go to the combat screen, it'll have all your skills listed for you.
Okay. And you said notice?
Notice, yep, it's alphabetical order too.
No, I know what's going on. I know why it's mad at me. My screen isn't the right resolution for this thing, so it's cutting it off. Alright, I will, while this is trying to do its thing.
If you don't have a notice proficiency, you can just roll 2d6 and then -1, and then add whichever attribute you want to add to it too. You can kind of do it on manual as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna argue that my experience as a soldier is gonna give me some level of intelligence towards noticing things for the types of things that I'm looking for.
Perfect. Let's roll notice with intelligence.
Why is this thing? See, me and my tech problems. I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries.
You are far from the first problem to have person to have tech problems live on screen. This has as was said on Battlestar Galactica. This has happened before and will happen again.
My intelligence is a -1, so
So
Maybe
you understand
maybe
what
not
I'm
a good
talking
argument.
about.
that's a 2.
Yeah, so you take a look through and run the scanners. It's struggling to get much information back. You notice a little bit of a haze kind of on the scanner screens as you look at this derelict ship. It's kind of almost disrupting your sensors a little bit. The biggest thing you can tell right now that it still has power on the ship, and that the atmosphere and life support in some areas are still functional and safe.
Do you see anything?
Nothing that I can see. These scanners are crap.
Maybe we can find better ones aboard that vessel. Well, we won't know until we go check it out.
Anything's going to be better than these.
How do we board this vessel? Is there a docking bay we can hook our doohickey into, or are we beaming over? How does this sci-fi work?
Definitely. So Stars Without Number isn't like a Star Trek one where there's beams and all that. A little bit more, actually, quite a bit more low tech than that, or most tech levels are. But yeah, there are air docks scattered around the ship that you could kind of board and make yourself known on. I will kind of say there's 3 that you noticed offhand. There's one that's not too far from the bridge. You kind of notice by the bridge there is looks like a puncture wound or a puncture in the ship. Hole on that side. There is one near the bottom of the ship, kind of across the hull, which you'd probably guess maybe closer to its cargo and storage areas. And then there's one on the other side of that that you'd guess is probably by its reactors and kind of more the ship's engines and drives.
I vote we check that section out. The nuclear reactor part. I bet if we can, maybe we can get some more power into our ship.
I'd like to use my Oracle power. So I commit some effort, and that'll allow me to ask a question about the future.
Okay.
So my question is going to be, if we bring the ship down to the engine reactor area, that air dock, and head inside, will there be any immediate threat that we'll have to deal with in that area? And I can read you more about how the Oracle works if you like, or it's in the Foundry chat.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, thanks for posting that. I'm reading a little bit on that now.
And I'm level 1, so I get up to a day in the future. But I imagine this will be in the next couple minutes or so.
So yeah, you kind of see yourself hooking into the ship, the docking clamp latching on to the derelict cruiser, the airlock cycling and then opening. And you don't sense danger, but you do sense kind of this. You don't sense immediate danger, I should say. You do feel kind of danger in the air, but you see kind of the reactor area. You see kind of this torn up ship with its interior, with kind of muck, kind of scratches and scrapes, but no like blood or gore around. But you see it as completely deserted. You feel danger kind of lurking, but you don't sense immediate danger. You don't sense like something will kill you as soon as you set foot within.
Well, Ratchet, the angels seem to agree with you. Let's head that way.
If I was going to die today, I'd have already died. Let's go. That was one mean burrito.
Perfect. Well, you guys are able to. Actually, who is piloting the ship? Which one of you 3 would be more likely to have the hot hand behind the stick?
Well, I've got
I
the
would-
dexterity skill, so I think if no one is jumping at it, I think I'll jump with that. But
As I say, probably Ratchet or myself with just our background. But Ratchet's got the better dex, I'm sure.
I have a 14, and so I will. If we have to roll for piloting, I will roll dexterity for piloting, if I may.
Yep, definitely. Hot hand behind the stick, dexterity fits.
All
Give me a
right.
dexterity piloting roll.
All right, dexterity, and that's a 2d6.
Yep. If you click on it, it should roll for. If you have it on your sheet, it should just roll for you without having to add the 2d6 or anything else. 10, solid. Yeah, so you easily maneuver that ship in, like gracefully pull it up towards the airlock, have it dock without an extra noise. Like you kind of move through and silently hook the ship up so gracefully that if your crew wasn't watching the screen, they wouldn't know that you guys just docked with another ship. And you see that air duct go out. You feel the air equalize. And you see the door ahead of you into the derelict Acadia cruiser. All right, guys.
Hi. I am a ranged. I like to shoot with my shoot guns. I've got my combat rifle out, and I am waiting for someone else to step forward.
As the tactical person, I guess Miller would probably Edgar Miller would be towards the front of the thing going out. He also has his combat rifle ready.
Yeah, I'll probably hang out in the middle. I'm carrying some medical equipment in case things go bad, but I'm pretty confident with my Oracle reading just now, so I'm probably right behind Edgar.
Great.
Perfect.
I'll bring up the rear because I am brave, and that's what brave people do.
Leading from behind. But yeah, you all go through. You see this heavy airlock door open with kind of like it glides up quietly, but the sight that greets you is just ominous. You've smelled this just, I wouldn't say rank, but it smells like fruit that's been out too long that's spoiled. Like smells like fruit that's been out for months. Just that rank, sweet, bitter smell that just gets caught in your nostrils. But otherwise, everything looks pretty similar to what a Messphere saw in his vision. You see this kind of gray area kind of near the ship's engineering bay, but it's deserted. You don't see a person. You don't see bodies even. But you do see kind of like marks on the ground. Occasionally, you will see kind of a burn mark on a wall. Even kind of what some of the panels on the ceiling have been broken with wires hanging from the top. But no people. And the only sound is just kind of the scrubbing of the atmospheric life support. What do you guys do?
Looks like a fight came down here. By the smell of it, I don't know that it was fresh.
Could I make like a intelligence heal check to try to figure out if this scent is some kind of like due to some disease or something like that that I might like recognize from my medical training?
For sure. And I forgot to do this with the other ones, but I'm supposed to announce the difficulties of these checks with this system. So there's a 6 through 14 system. This one's a 6, so fairly standard.
Alrighty.
Yeah, so you kind of, the smell, it's hard to pinpoint. It's one of those ones that really just gets trapped in your nose, and it's just that bitterly sweet of rot. And it doesn't smell like a disease you've heard of. It's an odd scent. Like, it's really not one, like, it smells like the fruit, but not one you've really come across, at least to this degree, before.
Gotcha. Well, whatever battle happened here, I don't think it's a threat to us in the current moment. Just keep looking to see what we can find.
And as you guys kind of look around, you all are fairly familiar with the layout of these star cruisers. The Visan company uses them pretty often. This is their standard kind of hauler ship from the colonies. You guys are kind of within the airlock by engineering. You do see there are kind of three doors, one to the back, one to the kind of like back right, and one kind of towards the front of this room. And you know that the one to the direct back leads towards the reactor system, as well as some of the engineering kind of like scanners, as well as their monitoring of the engines and otherwise ship health. The other one leads to kind of deeper to the other side of the ship, where it goes directly towards the kind of overall like engine room. So where the other ones had kind of the sensors for the engine rooms, this brings you right towards the engines themselves. And the door that's on the front of the room would bring you further into the ship, closer to the brig, as well as pathways leading towards towards like the cargo and other sections of the ship.
Well, we're here to see what materials we can find. Maybe we want to try shutting down the engines just to make sure that if there is anybody around here, they can't get away with what we can rightfully acquire.
We should also check the ship's logs, see if we can find a record of what happened here. Perhaps the captain themselves told us what happened here, and we can figure out what needs to be done first. Maybe even record what they're hauling. Could have a cargo list available.
That'd be very convenient for a captain in the middle of a fight to sit there and record a last dying message.
Well, it's maybe he, saw his first officer was dying, saw everything was going wrong, and thought he'd step back and go, "You guys made a bad call. You know how screwed you are? Look at all these bad..." I'm just saying it's not out of character of someone with a certain amount of ego.
Well, you're not wrong there.
You know how often you see that in certain shows, that kind of thing will happen.
Yes.
Ratchet, make me a no check.
A no check. Okay.
I like how they call it no rather than like lore or like anything like that. It's just like it's straightforward. I like that.
So I would argue for intelligence.
Yeah, that works.
Okie dokie.
Solid. Yeah, Ratchet, you're sure that the bridge would contain the kind of the captain's logs. And you know that with the Visan Corporation, they do have a black box aboard their ships that do capture kind of the pilot. If the ship starts getting damaged, the pilot is, or the captain of the vessel is supposed to record what occurred and give a breakdown. So in case the ship does go down or is destroyed, the corporation can uncover that and save lives or protect profits, whatever you want to phrase it.
I would relay that information to the crew. We definitely want to go hit the bridge and take a look at those logs. Even if the captain wasn't recording what he should have been, the black box will have valuable data for us.
Seems like a fine plan to me.
Make it so.
Yes, good of you to agree with me. Well done.
So are you guys heading towards the bridge?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I look at both of them and I say, well, to the bridge, and I lead from behind.
All right. For you, so a reminder too, if you haven't yet, throw SWN into the chat for your chance to win a free PDF copy, courtesy of Kevin Crawford of the Stars Without Number system. But yeah, let's get into it. So you guys are able to, you go through the next door. You kind of seeing the smell persist. You see this door kind of cling up, like it goes up slowly, and you kind of see it stop and stick in some places, but eventually it does go all the way up. And on the other side of this, you see kind of a scene similar to the one that you came across before. But this looks to be more of a recreational area of the ship. You see that this, like, you see kind of like a mess hall coming through, and you see tables overturned, chairs kind of like burnt with bolts burned through them. You see lights flickering on and off, some that look like they may have been shot through, and some that just seem to have kind of a dead space between them. And you see that same sickly sweet smell. Uh, but I'm going to give me a notice check as you guys come in.
Alrighty.
And we'll say difficulty 8 for this one.
You said everyone?
Everybody, yeah.
Cool.
Perfect. Ratchet and Edgar, give me a check too.
Oh, I thought I just did. That was my that 4 there is mine. Oh, did you want me to do a? Oh, you want to notice, not a no. Okay.
Do you have any
This is
different modifiers
stupid.
for it, or is it
No, I do not. It would be the exact same check.
we'll leave that one then. Sweet. So Ratchet and Atmosphere, you guys kind of, you don't really see anything out of the norm as you walk through. Edgar, you do notice, and I think you're up front too, so it makes perfect sense you would on this side. You see, kind of similar to before, you see some of those panels broken out with wires, but you see claw marks along some of the panels that have been kicked out, kind of heading towards the ceiling.
Claw marks up ahead. Looks like something in the ceiling. And he starts to kind of like look up at the ceiling as he's walking, as well as looking forward a little bit more. I'd probably try to draw a little bit closer to see if there's anything else that I can determine at a closer range.
Yeah, so you make your way towards one of the panels. And you see it looks like it's been kicked out from the top. And you see with that kicked out of the top, it has a long, deep claw mark through the panels. It's hanging above the ceiling. So yeah, I mean, you kind of you notice that as you get closer, kind of the claw marks are deeper. You see it. I mean, these are pretty like deep and kind of into, and and the panels for these are like metal. Like the VC Corp does not spend any additional credits to make their ships look inhabiting. This is just like industrial ship metal. You see those claws are dug deep within it.
Any indication from the claw mark as to whether this was organic or mechanical that dug into it?
Give me your choice of survive or notice.
Let's see here. Why? It won't load my character sheet again. Alright, fine. It'll be survive, which I do have skill in, but I don't know what that means as I can't get my thing to load. Probably 2d6 again.
Yeah, so 2d. So it's always 2d6. It's just a difference of with your level of a +0, +1, or -1.
Okay.
And then your attribute.
The attribute's going to give me no benefit. Why did it?
You have to do /R to roll it. Or you can just click 2d6 at the dice roller. Is that clear on?
Got it. 13.
Nice. Yeah, you take a look at this. Clearly an organic creature. You see kind of like flecks of scale within the kind of the grooves of the cuts. Definitely mechanical. It feels like kind of cutting through that metal. It's probably a pretty heavy creature, but not super large, or at least so that they can be flexible with going through kind of the. And you look up and kind of see the narrow ventral path that it took, path through the vents that it took. So strong, flexible, but definitely an organic creature.
And in my combat experience, would I have any sort of experience with this sort of thing?
I mean, you've been on hostile worlds before. You know that some have creatures that are pretty tough, and you can hang with even soldiers with blasters and rifles. But yeah, you wouldn't know exactly what you wouldn't be able to put together what this creature itself is. But definitely know it's big, it's flexible, and strong.
All right. Keep your eyes on the vents, boys.
Will do. Guess we can keep heading up to the brig though for now, but keeping an extra eye out for something coming from the ceiling.
Perfect. You guys continue to move through the mess hall. That sickly fruit, kind of just rotting smell, getting deeper and just more oppressive as you're going through. And eventually, you do start to hear. You can see at the head of this room there are three doors. One towards the front, kind of closer to the bridge. Another to the kind of the other side, heading towards the cargo areas. But you do see, or kind of hear as you get closer, like this clank, 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 clank noise, just repeating, like just steady clank, steady clank, steady clank. Just something striking metal as you get closer, and it seems to be coming from the door to the right.
I trained my gun on it.
Well, that steadiness of that sound makes me think it's not a person or something organic, but maybe some machinery that's malfunctioning. Should we?
I'd be inclined to agree with that. Is there a panel to open the door?
There is.
So, quick retcon. I've swapped out my weapon here. I don't have a combat rifle. I have a basically high-tech hammer. And I would indicate for somebody to pull the lever, and I'd have the hammer readied at the door.
I will pull the lever.
Perfect. You pull the lever, and you see this personal droid kind of come skittering out. It's this droid. You see, it's like a little hover pad. It's got two, like a humanoid torso, but hover kind of apparatus beneath it, and it just skitters out. And it just goes error, 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 error.
As it doesn't seem to be attacking, I wouldn't hit it.
Can I feel like I might have a skill for this. Can I do some kind of like check to see if I can figure out what's wrong? Maybe I can fix it. I can haul out my comm pad and maybe I can plug it in and see if I can do a program or a connect.
Definitely. So it is kind of it's moving around the room, so you definitely be able to do that, but you would have to kind of catch it and stop it.
Okay. Does it have wheels?
No, it's hovering.
Oh, it's hovering. Okay. Does it have like I'm trying to figure out if I can shoot it to stop it from moving any further and just
So
immobilize it.
humanoid torso on a hover pad.
Maybe I can just shoot the hover pad.
Um,
Unless
Alright.
someone else has a better idea than that.
I can try to maybe sneak up behind it wherever. I mean, assuming it has like sensors that work like eyes, and grab it from behind and kind of hold it steady. That would make it easier for Ratchet to tinker with it.
That might be certainly a smarter decision than what I had in mind.
Edgar would just quickly say, "Droid, stop." See if it complies.
You, as you say, droid, stop. It just goes error, error, unknown life forms, shipped, crew, taken, error, 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 and keeps maneuvering around in circles.
What? I've got a strong enough strength. I'm just gonna go ahead and try to wrestle it, basically.
I believe in
I'm
you.
gonna walk up to it and try to like grab hold of it, see if I can hold it still.
All right. So what we'll do, Miss Fear, give me a stealth check. And then Edgar, give me a strength check, and we'll have you aid him. So basically, the DC for this is 6. So pretty standard DC. Edgar, if you succeed, you'll give a +1 to Mesfear's roll to kind of come up behind it and grab it. So you guys kind of work together to restrain this this droid for Ratchet's tinkering.
Alrighty.
I don't actually have like a tinker skill, even though I have like a tinker background or something, which is just frustrating.
Oh, well, there's a good skill for this. I'm blanking on what it's called. Let me pull it up real quick. Program.
There's a
Yeah,
program. There's also fix. That might be applicable.
yeah,
as well.
I've got a negative in all of those, but that's okay. Still, I have tinker in my name. I'm gonna try it, even if I do it badly. Unless someone else has a better skill for it. I don't want to irreparably do something by being an idiot if someone else actually has a chance at doing it right.
I did just
Okay,
check.
good.
Tinker gives you fix as a bonus skill, so you should at least have a 0 in it.
Okay, well I can
And it might not
update
have put
that.
that in automatically, but yep.
So yeah, go
Okay.
for it. Raffle, you're the
10 from
you're the
Edgar.
guy.
Okay, I'll change that modifier to a 1. I would like to argue for my dexterity for fix, and my argument being that, like a surgeon, you need very dexterous hands to connect those wires just right. You know how every time you try and plug in a USB, you always got to turn it around twice because you had it right the first time. It just didn't work well. I'm making an argument for dexterity to make it work that way.
I will give you this one, but you can't use Dex for everything. We'll say.
I agree. I can't use Dex for everything, and it's your job to tell me when I can't use Dex for everything. So that's a 7. I don't feel good about that.
Yeah, it was a 6, so you are able to get through. So you see the droid shut down, and you start to see data reads across your screen. What are you looking for?
Any information I can get that would be like, what? Why is this thing malfunctioning? Did something harm it? Or maybe I can get it online, get it to lead us around this place. Maybe it knows what went wrong, why people were taken.
You see, with the first question, kind of what went wrong, where the errors come. You go through and you see the diagnostic reports pull up for the droid, and you see that higher radiation levels than like operationally expect or than a droid can adeptly operate in occurred, and you see it kind of flash fried some of its circuits and kind of almost like not wiped, but just deteriorated some of its memory. And you see that where it was at during that section was the cargo hold room. And you see that the kind of the radiation levels were high for a droid, which would be pretty dangerous for an organic, depending on how long you spend there.
I communicate this to the team.
Well, let's hope those radiation levels have gone down since it's happened.
Yeah, that's not a very good sign for this mission. I say we jettison when we make our way to the bridge, we jettison the cargo and see if we can haul this entire ship back to a shipyard.
Hold on. The cargo may be valuable. Maybe we can find a way to like maybe we can just vent the air from the cargo bay, and that'll get the radiation out.
Radioactive
maybe,
material remains radioactive whether it's in atmosphere or not.
You're right. Maybe we can sell it to somebody, and it'll be their problem.
It's worth nothing if we die for it.
We don't have to die for it. Who said anything about dying? That sounds stupid. I'm not dying out here.
What you're describing includes dying.
Potato, tomato. Let's mosey.
Would it make sense for a ship like this to have any kind of equipment or materials for like dealing with that sort of scenario, like something that would like scrub the radiation out of something or anything along those lines? You know, if they had like reactor leakage or something like that.
Yeah, so you would know that the not for scrubbing the kind of radiation out of an area, but you'd know that at least the reactor room would be likely to have a kind of a vac suit that's situated to repel radiation.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll bring that up to the others. So I think we should still try to find that black box and get a real good understanding of what happened here. But when we do go for the cargo, they'll have some suits in the engineering area that'll help us get it out and manage it.
Yeah, we'll see. Anything else this droid is useful for?
Can I was I able to fix it and turn it into something that'll just, that can maybe like lead us around the area?
So you could fix it. It would take some time. So you'd probably guess about 20 minutes to be able to get it operational and moving in a way that you guys want it to move without yelling error and going in circles.
Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of like, I'm not saying we have to wait for it, but I would start working on doing that. And if anyone was like, if any of you were like, we don't want to waste our time screwing with this, I would just stop.
Well, I'd say bring it with us, because once we get that black box, that'll probably take some time to pour through that data and learn everything we can about what happened. So you can work on it while the two of us look at the data in the bridge.
Okay. Can I, maybe I can just shut it off then and carry it with us? I don't know how heavy it is.
So be happy to carry, but you could definitely, with that fix rating you got, just keep the hover pad on and kind of push it along with one of your hands.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that if I can do that in like a minute.
For sure.
Cool. It's a shield.
Zoning. Yeah.
Something to steady your rifle on.
I already did that. I already did the studying of my rifle on it. Now I can use. Now I can. It's a toy. I don't know. Maybe I'll just bring it back home with us and find some other use for it. Anyway, moving on. Heading to the bridge.
Perfect. You guys head towards the bridge. Same marching order before: Edgar, Misfear, and then Ratchet. With Ratchet and his newfound droid shield.
Yeah.
And can I keep my gun up while I'm pushing this thing, or do I just kind of like? Would it take like an action just to stop pushing this thing and bring up my gun? Because I think it's a two-handed combat rifle.
Two-handed, so yeah, so you would have to kind of like stop pushing it. It wouldn't take an action to stop pushing it, but yeah, you would have to kind of leave it as you start to fight if you wanted to aim and shoot.
Okay.
Perfect. So you're heading towards the bridge still?
Yes.
Perfect. You guys maneuver towards the bridge, moving through this mess hall, seeing more of those panels. And Edgar, you notice more of them have those scratch marks across them with just deep gouges throughout. Same stinky, kind of fruit rotting smell, but no bodies, no blood, no gore, no signs of people dying aboard the ship. But you guys go through and get closer towards the door. But kind of the door towards the bridge, you see it is closed. You see gouge marks across, like kind of like crisscrossing the door. And on the other side, you kind of hear just this whirring noise.
Probably another droid.
I'll go try to open the door.
Perfect. You see the door slide up and ahead. They don't seem to have noticed you yet, but you do see 3 Vason security model droids. You see the droids are kind of standing in a defensive position around the door towards the bridge. You see 2 of them have stun batons in their hand. Another has a makeshift or kind of a poorly designed pistol. It is a robot hand and a stun baton in the other. You see they look like they've been scratched and see some of them have like melted sides of their kind of along their faces and as well as their kind of their bodies as well. And these droids all kind of have a humanoid bend as well. They're all kind of more kind of angularly designed. Kind of think like basic Terminator models. They've got that humanoid design, but a little bit more padding to them, and they look like they've been through hell. But they still have their stun batons are still sparking. You see the one with the pistol still looks sharp, and you see they keep kind of continue like roving their heads back and forth. But somehow they haven't seen you guys yet. As that door opens, in this hallway, as you guys come into it, it's about 40, about 15 meters wide, as well as like 60 meters deep. And they are in front of a door that's about 55 meters from the door that you guys are coming in. They just seem to be kind of just continuing to keep rolling their heads back and forth with their damaged bodies, weapons displayed. What are you guys doing?
If these droids were to detect us, are they typically programmed just to attack anyone who's not part of the Vism Corporation, or do they need to be like specifically programmed to attack hostiles?
Give me a no check.
Alrighty.
Yeah, you know, typically they're not like kind of bloodthirsty. They're not usually ones to just kind of like start shooting random civilians or people that wind up on the ship. But you do know that if things go critical, the captain can authorize kind of a code red situation where anything that's not registered in the Vason security logs or kind of the bio logs for Vason is targeted as a hostile. So you kind of you know that they're not typically bloodthirsty, but they can be if authorized by the captain.
Hey, Ratchet, I want to ask your buddy if these droids have been put into a mode where they might shoot us.
I can try. Yeah. A little droid. I'm gonna name you Clank for no reason whatsoever. A Clank. Are these guys gonna kill us if they see us?
So are you trying to program into the droid and get the information, or are you turning it back on?
I think it'd be smarter for me to do the program thing. So yeah,
All right,
we'll
give me a
do
program
that.
check.
Way to do that. And I'll use intelligence for this one because that makes sense.
For sure. Yeah, you
Ooh, way to
reach
roll.
into the data logs for the droid. You do see that the captain has initiated an all hands hostile situation fight for the Acadia. So it encourages all droids, all humanoids, all Vason property to fight till the end to protect the ship.
Oh yeah, they'll kill us. They'll kill us. I'm just gonna push my little droid buddy to the side here, because they're probably not programmed to attack him. And draw my gun.
Ratchet.
Yeah.
Can you hit the one with the pistol?
Yeah. Yeah, I can shooty shoot.
All right.
I used to shoot womp rats like that from my T16 back home.
Yeah, I know. Shoot the one with the pistol. I'll take care of the ones with the stun batons.
Okay.
I don't know what you're gonna do, but
I have a gun.
yeah.
I'm not as good at it with it as Ratchet is, but I'll take a few shots.
Come on, man. You've been practicing. You're getting to be almost competent with that gun.
You shoot at the one on the left. I'll hit the one on the right.
Okie dokie. And do you want me to start combat by shooting it, or do you want to try and sneak up on him?
Being this hammer don't really sneak, so go right ahead.
Okie dokie. If I can find a position to take cover, I will do that. Like just outside the corridor, like just inside a doorway. And I will take aim on the one with the pistol. And I would like to make a shoot check. And I know it seems crazy, but I'd like to use my dexterity.
Before we do that, if you guys are going into combat with them, we will roll initiative. So let me get the combat encounter going, and we'll have you guys roll initiative. And for anybody that is new to the Stars Without Number system, with initiative, it is a 1d8 plus your dexterity modifier. For those that are you guys already in the your stats already in the blocks. If you go towards the crossed swords icon on Foundry, there'll be a D20 next to there, and you can just click that D20 and it'll roll the D8 for you, which is weird, but yeah.
I rolled star apparently, so I'll that'll be me.
Perfect. Yeah, so you want to take the shot first, so Fitz do. So yeah, you get through. You're at the, kind of in the mess hall. As you duck behind the door, you get a bead on those guys about 55 meters away. And side note, it's always so many weird. Like some systems are always feet, some systems are always meters. This is a meter system. So 55 meters away, you see, get that bead out. I'm not sure if that affects anything with your weapons range. I forgot what you're shooting with. But yeah.
My combat rifle has a range of 100/300, so I think I'll be fine.
Nice.
And a shooty shoot.
Give a shoot check.
That's got to be a max. If a critical's in this game, that's it.
Solid. So that will hit. They've got what's their AC? Oh yeah, that will hit.
Did I?
So.
Well, did I roll that wrong? Because I rolled a shoot with my skills. Was I supposed to use my combat rifle to roll? Or?
You are supposed to use your combat rifle there. Yeah.
Okay. I'll just.
You do add your shoot modifier though.
Oh, I see that. Okay.
Luckily, that just hits, but yes.
Well, I also rolled 2d. Yeah. Okay. I rolled 2d6 instead of a d20.
But yeah. So give me a d20 roll on that one with the combat rifle.
No, that's damage. God dang it! How does this crap work? Rolling. Click on the combat rifle. Now I just keep rolling damage.
Oh, let me see. Let me pull up a little character sheet here and see how that. You should just be able to click the combat rifle, I thought, and it'll give you the.
Well, I seem to be rolling damage as opposed to.
It looks like it rolled both to hit roll and damage in the same little block.
Oh, did it?
Yeah,
oh, it did. Okay.
To hit.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Good catch.
Thank you for calling that which I do not see, for I am fool. 21 to hit. Okay, so if my max critical 14 hit, then that 21. Woo-wee.
21, it definitely hits. And with 12 damage, solidly. How do you take that security bot down?
I shoot it in its mainframe. Its mainframe is gone now. It no longer has a motherboard. I'll be taking that home with me, and making a new sentry bot. Because apparently that's the character I am. I like to make little sentry bots to follow me around all the time.
Nice. You see the assault rifle blast off, and you see a hole emerge within the security droid, the Veasan security droid. You see it just blown through and come crashing to the ground, taking out the one with the pistol.
Nice.
Good shot.
All right.
I mean, I'll shoot again if you let me, but I imagine it's someone else's turn now.
Nope. Miss Fear, you are up.
Alrighty, I'll pull out my laser pistol and fire a shot at one of the other ones.
Perfect.
That'll be a 12.
Unfortunately, you see the blast go off. You see the droid kind of just shift to the side. Its photoreceptors turning and locking onto you. But unfortunately, that will miss.
I'll move to the side of the doorway to where they don't have line of sight of me, and kind of take cover behind it there, and end my turn.
Perfect. Oh, that one is dead. The other one, you see it charging forth its security baton, just sparking as it moves 20 feet closer, or 20 meters closer to the crew, still 35 meters away, as it kind of charges forth with reckless abandon. Edgar, you're up.
Edgar will do the same reckless charge forward, 10-meter movement. So I'm assuming I'm moving double movement to use my full turn to 20 meters.
Definitely. So there's so with this game, similar to like kind of a 5e style. If you want to utilize your there's a word for it I'm blanking on right now, but your main action to dash, not dash, but use movement, you can do so.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
there's
what
main action. Sweet. Yeah. So you can use your main action to get additional movement.
that's what I'll do.
Sweet. Yeah, so you are 15 meters away from the nearest one, 35 meters away from the other one that's standing, and that one is going to kind of jut forward as well. Its mechanical limbs kind of prowling closer to you. But as we get back to the top of the order, you guys start to hear like a rustling, kind of like something on the roof. It still seems distant, but you start to hear kind of scratching, gouging. It's kind of like the strong sense of like kind of just this kind of like the strong sense of something getting closer to you as well, kind of just rapidly moving.
I don't like that. I don't like that sound.
And with that, you are the first to act for Ratchet.
I'll shoot the one nearest to us again.
They're both on the same spot. Yeah.
Okay. I'll shoot the one that looks a little bit more bloodthirsty then. And as a note, one kind of fun thing about this game is that it includes a burst fire feature, which I'm using, that gives you a +2 to your attack roll.
Nice.
It consumes 3 rounds of ammo, so that's just a cool aspect of how this game works. Okay. Oh, look, another 21 to hit, and 8 points of damage. Do I take it from the mainframe again?
Yeah, you do. Just kind of squeaking by there with that one. Yeah. So are you kind of blowing out hard drive again?
Absolutely. I'll install my own hard drive later.
Perfect. You blast through it with only one of the droids still standing. And Sphere, you are up.
I'll peek out from my hiding spot and take another shot at the last remaining one.
All right.
11.
Unfortunately, you see it kind of just impact into the wall. Unfortunately, leaving the droid standing.
Yeah, I'll step back into the spot where the droid doesn't have visibility of me and end my turn.
Sweet. The last droid is going to close that final 15 meters with Edgar. Fortunately, that will take its full action because it needs to dash or move and use its action to move. But it is right in your face, Edgar.
Thanks for coming to me. And then I'll take a swing at it.
That'll just hit. Sweet. I forgot what shock damage is. Let me pull that up real quick.
Shock is only when I miss, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's only when I fail a hit. So just
that will hit. You smash into it with your hammer. You see the droid is dented and broken, but dented and banged up, but it is still standing.
I think that's the end of what I'm going to do because I'm not going to move again, and I don't think there's anything else of value to do. So I'll stand my ground.
You stand your ground with the battered security droid in front of you. It's back up to Ratchet. And Ratchet, you hear that scurrying, that scampering get closer. It almost feels like it's right on top of you now.
Perception check. How do I do? Notice check.
Notice check. Roll a notice. Do you want to use your action to notice?
Well, I have faith in the hammer of Edgar, so I feel like I need to know if I feel like it's right on top of me, I would definitely be like, what the hell is this? So I'll use my wisdom because that makes most sense to me, but I don't have a modifier in it, so it really could be anything other than charisma or dex. It wouldn't matter.
All right, give me a wisdom notice. Yeah, you sense that the creature is probably about 10 meters off from being right above you guys. You hear it kind of scampering through the vent system. You hear its heavy claws gouging into the metal. It is nearly upon you.
Just for clarification, 10 meters from their location at the entryway to this corridor?
Their location, so not yours, 20 feet in, or 20 meters in.
Gotcha.
So it's coming up behind us.
Yeah, coming up behind you guys, yep.
Great. Okay.
So you've used your action. We have movement left. You can speak. What are you thinking?
I will notify the party that the thing that killed everyone on this ship is coming up behind us, so Ms. Fear can turn around and keep an eye on it. And then I'm gonna do a little bit of as a movement action. I'll turtle in my pants just a little bit.
Can I say a few things outside my turn? Or should I wait for my turn to speak?
Sweet. That's fair. You are up.
Did Ratchet kind of point out where the creature in the ceiling was?
Yeah, we'll definitely say he was able to kind of point towards kind of where he heard that scurrying from.
Let's see. Yeah, Edgar's got the last droid. I'm gonna try to shoot through the panel to hit the creature with my laser pistol. I don't know if that's a penalty on my roll or anything like that. But...
There will be a penalty. It'll be a -3 penalty on that one.
Okay. That would be a 6 to hit.
Oh, did you already roll?
Yeah.
Oh, you did. Yeah, unfortunately, you do blow a hole through the kind of through the ceiling, metal ceiling tiles. You do catch the hint of this scaly tail kind of maneuvering through. You see a pincered end to it.
I'm going to, instead of staying behind the door, away from the droids, I'm going to head through the doorway closer, probably about like 10 meters or so towards Edgar and the remaining droid.
Sweet.
And I'll say, Ratchet, maybe come this way and shut the door behind you.
On my next turn, absolutely.
Sweet. So you hear that scurrying, you hear that scratch, you see this tail coming through. The sphere is able to get within the room with these security bots. And Edgar, the security civilian bot that you just smashed your hammer into, sparking, battered, bruised, barely upon its feet, kind of held its shock stick out to you and goes, intruders will be dealt with. And tries to smack you with its stun baton.
That will not hit.
Solid. You see it slash out with its stun baton, but Edgar proves too quick for it. And that'll be its turn. Edgar, you are up.
Not missing the opportunity to try to strike it while it's off balance from its missed attack, I will swing at my own hammer again.
That will miss.
Apparently I was off balance myself.
As you see the hammer you see the droid just kind of fall back, still sparking, and the hammer just grazes next to it. It is still up, still operational.
I'm going to try to, because I still have my movement, I'm going to try to dance around it so I get kind of behind it. So the droid is now in between myself and whatever this thing is coming through the ceiling.
Perfect. Let me check. I think you can just move around it without, I think it's kind of similar to 5. You can move around it without needing to take the withdrawal option. Let me make sure. Yeah, so you're good. So you were able to kind of circle around it and get behind it without it drawing a kind of, what do they call it? It's not an attack of opportunity, but they call it something different where it can strike out at you.
Sounds good. And my turn.
Sweet. You guys hear this creature burst through the floor, and you see it fall to the ground. You see this large, it almost looks like a reptile and an arachnid mated. You see it's got this large kind of like spindly body where the cylinder is kind of muscular and scaled with this kind of just like toiling tail with a pincer upon it. But you see that its torso, kind of these spider-like appendages growing from its back. You see its face just has this elongated, kind of almost snake-like appearance. You hear it just hiss at you. And as it hisses, you kind of catch this whiff of that overall that ripe, rotting smell. It just intensifies as it opens its mouth. And you see it kind of hurling towards you. Let me get this guy into initiative. So, Ratchet, you are fortunately still up. This creature is 10 meters behind you. You see it does have these long, spindly arms and tail. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna shoot it.
All right.
I'm I'm gonna do what I keep doing. What I'm theoretically good at. Where the oh that's right. Nope, that's not that. I don't know why that. I don't know why my character sheet just disappeared on me, but there you go. Okay. Shooty shoot.
Nice. Yeah, you shoot it, and it looks pretty injured. Like you see it hiss out. You see that smell of kind of acidic, rotting kind of intensify, and you see its blood slake off, and you see kind of fumes emanating from it.
And with my movement, I will back away. However far away from it I can get. I want to put. I want to put both Edgar and Sphere into a position where they are in between me and that thing
You can
because
only
of
move
my
10
bravery.
meters.
10,
For
10
it. So you could basically get towards where Sphere is.
Okie dokie then. I will do that.
Sphere, you're up.
Is the creature still on the so now that I'm in the hallway with the 3 party members, is the creature still on the other side of that doorway we came through?
It is.
Yeah, I'm gonna run up and try to use a panel on this side to close the door from this side and keep it separated from us.
Perfect. You use your action, you hit that panel, and you see it come striking down. And you see the door is there, and you see the creature on the other side of it.
Yeah, and then whatever movement I have remaining, I'll just head back in the direction towards Edgar.
Perfect. And you get like a meter back towards Edmure. Edgar, well, I said Edmure. All right. The spot, somehow still standing and sparking, is going to try to take out this intruder that's beating it up with a hammer. What's your AC, Edgar?
18.
Nice. You see it lash out. Unfortunately, just impact against your armor. You are left standing and fine. And your turn is up.
Okay. I will return the favor by hitting it with the hammer.
Nice. So that will miss. But yeah, so you do have your shock damage on that one, and that will be enough to topple it over. So how do you take it down?
So I'll swing at it and I'll miss on the force swing, but I'll kind of like hook a foot and knock it down to the ground that way, and I'll realize that it's disabled as I'm like bringing the hammer down again. I'll be like, okay.
Perfect. You smash through this droid, and you do see the path kind of towards the bridge is clear. You see that the creature behind is howling. This nauseous fumes, kind of getting kind of just more dank and more rotting as it howls. What do you guys do? Are you staying behind? Or are you guys trying to hurtle forward?
Can't decide if I'd rather face this thing now or try to escape it, but then it's going to be crawling around the corridors.
I feel like we should try and take it down. It sounded like my bullets really did some solid damage to it, so it might not take much more to bring it down.
Alrighty, I can go.
I believe in you.
Open it if you want to ready a shot. for as soon as the door opens.
Absolutely.
You guys are still, if you guys are fighting, you guys are still in initiative. So we'll bring it back up to if you guys are standing for the fight. We'll bring it back up to Edgar. Or not back to Edgar, up to Ratchet.
Great, I can shoot again, and I will.
Through a door.
Right, door. Perhaps I can open the door first, and then shoot it, if I see it.
It would take your action to open the door.
Son of a gun. Can I delay for someone else to open the door and then shoot? I don't know if delay is a thing.
You could. That shot will miss though. Either way, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, then I will shoot through the door for flavor.
And for flavor, I'll say, I said after I open the door, Ratchet.
Well, I mean, hey, I thought it might be on the other side. Yeah, no, let's, yeah, you're the thinker. What do your angels tell us? Let's do it.
Perfect. So you see that blast impact into the door. You hear the creature howling out. Miss Fear, you are up.
So in that case, what I'll try to do is delay opening the door until Ratchet's about ready to take his next shot. If that's...
Oh, we don't want it to get away. It's running.
Does it seem like it's still kind of intent in coming through the door or going a different way?
You do hear it howling out. Kind of hard to tell.
Here's what I'll do so I'm not waiting too long. I'll wait until Edgar can come closer to the door. So I'll stand by the door ready to open it and wait for Edgar to get up to the door so that as soon as I open the door, Edgar can swing his hammer at it. If that works for him.
That's fine by me.
So you said you're walking towards the door, delaying until Edgar goes?
Yep.
All right. Oh, that guy is dead. The security bot. You hear this snake-like arachnid predator give out this mournful howl. More like a shriek than a howl. You hear it like it's got like this snake reverb to it, and you just hear it screeching out, kind of just echoing out, and just feels like it hits into your mind. Doesn't do any damage, doesn't freak you out. But the crazy thing is just how far it reverbs. You feel like it almost just breaches out through the ship. Just this howl of pain, concern, a little bit of panic. You see the creature has not advanced. It's actually taken steps back. It has jumped towards its little hiding, or it's the panel that it burst out of. But as it jumps, you still hear that just screech echoing out, almost calling out. Edgar, you're up.
I'll use double movement to close the distance on the door. So I should be pretty much right at the door now.
You are right at the door, and then Miss Fear can open that up, and you guys see its tail kind of just still protruding through the panel.
Looks like it's running away.
After it!
All
Don't
right.
kill it now, it'll just come after us later. And to kill it with fire.
Ratchet, you are up, but you hear that same scurrying that you heard when the creature first came. Kind of hear it coming from the reactor room, kind of all around the back half of the ship. It kind of just seems like it's coming from everywhere towards that back half, just scurrying, scratching, kind of hissing. just bursting through the ship.
Guys, there are like more of them. It's not that there's a lot.
So you're up first, Ratchet. What are you doing?
I don't see any of them, do I?
You
I
don't
just
see any
hear
of them. You hear them. You've seen from this ones and some of the mess hall ones. It seems like they prefer to scurry through the vents, but you hear them. You hear that scurrying, that scratching, that slithering, hissing intensify.
I'm just gonna ready my gun in. I want to delay until I can see one to shoot. I don't.
Well, we can still see the tail of the first one, can't we?
You can.
Oh, we can. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Can I move into a position where I get a better line of sight on it?
Yeah, you could definitely. So it's going to have a kind of a cover bonus either way, but you could definitely do that.
Okay, I will do that, and I will shoot. And this time, I hope to roll well.
So you guys are standing and fighting. Give me a shot there.
Oh, we don't have to. That's just what I'm doing. If the other guys decide to run like hell, I will be in pursuit.
Perfect. That will hit. That just hits with the cover.
Fantastic. And is that enough to kill it?
It's not very close, but not enough to take it down. You put a bullet through its tail. You hear it hiss out in pain, but it is still standing. All right, Miss Fear, you are up. You hear these hissing creatures. You see the one that you guys are hunting is bleeding. These kind of fumes echoing out from its blood spots, but it is still kind of hanging on to the panel that it jumped through. What are you doing? Are you fighting? Are you fleeing? How's Miss Fear reacting to the situation?
I'm going to follow up with a ratchet lead and take a shot at what I can see of the creature.
All right.
21 to hit. Minus an
That'll hit. Finish it.
Yep. I mean, as he shoots the tail, maybe the creature takes a step back and I see a leg dangle down, and I'll shoot the leg, and then the whole body just collapses onto the ground, unmoving.
You see the body crumple, come crashing out of the panel, bleeding. These blood kind of seeping into the ground with these kind of just orangish fumes leaking up. But you crash it, and that just stink of rot gets deeper. But you hear that scratching, that hissing intensify exponentially as that thing comes crashing to the ground and breathes its last breath.
I think our time might be limited. We should move quickly to the bridge. Unless we want to go somewhere else, but we need to decide quickly.
Agreed.
Should we even try to find out what happened here, or should we just grab what cargo we can and get out of here?
It will take you guys out of initiative, so you guys can, I wouldn't say discuss it long, but you can discuss it through.
Is there any way that... No, we haven't found the bridge yet, so it's not on the way to getting out of this place. I still really want to go to the bridge, but I think it'd be safer for us to just get off the ship with what we have.
I do remember there being an airlock closer to the bridge. If we head back the way we came, we can take our ship over to that airlock instead of the one we came in, and that might be safer than
That's a
staying
good
in this
idea.
ship at much time.
Yeah, let's do that.
based on the kind of the layout of the ship and the airlocks that we saw from the outside, does that seem like that would be closer to the bridge where we are now? Or would it just be more efficient to say, like, go through a door or two and then end up on the bridge and go all the way back to our ship in terms of time?
So yeah, so well, it kind of depends. So you guys there's still like a little bit of ground you need to cover to get to the bridge, but to get back to your ship, you'd have to head closer to radiation, where you initially heard those scuffling, that sound of the creatures coming from.
So it sounds like death is on the way back to our ship.
Let's head to the bridge.
Yeah.
Alright, well,
There might be a way to deal with whatever this is.
Regain some systems.
Yeah.
Flip a couple airlocks. See if we can't suck these bugs out.
I like that idea.
Agreed.
Sweet. So as you guys head, go ahead.
I just want to illustrate that I am not forgetting my little robot.
Push your little new droid friend ahead. And with that, we are going to take a quick 5-minute break. So we're going to come back at, we'll say a 6-minute, come back at 9:50 ET. And we kind of get into the last little leg of the adventure. If you haven't yet, throw SWN into the chat to win the contest, which is a raffle for the Stars Without Number paid version, courtesy of Kevin Crawford. Big shout out to him, and get a chance to bring these adventures to you and your crew. But also, when we do give the raffle away, we're going to show you where you can get the free PDF copy too, because Kevin Crawford's amazing and gives away like the rules for free, but as well as the PDF. I did not expect when I first saw it. And like 80% of the rules are in the free PDF he gives. I think like mechs and a couple other things are not included in that, but most of the cool stuff is in the base copy. So throw that in, but we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back, guys. Welcome back, everybody, to part 2 of our Stars Without Number one-shot for our, even though it's August 1st, our July game of the month. So a couple comments of the live stream I wanted to touch on before we got going. So Dreaming Dark, we did switch from Roll20, or mostly switched from Roll20 to Foundry. A couple reasons. So Foundry, let's say, well, Foundry, one of the nice things I like about Foundry, there's no subscription fee. But the nice thing is they've like, especially with games like this, like Stars Without Number, Pathfinder 2E, which is another big one I play, it's a free rule system. Like the community can go in and build like all the items and rules and things into the system, so you don't have to like go through and manually type things in like you have to a lot of the times for Roll20 without paying a ton. So that's one of the big reasons I went, and also there's like a lot of like ease. It's definitely more. Well, I'll say it's more complex. I won't say it's a higher learning curve. I'll say it takes a bit more to get used to, but once you get used to it, there's a lot of ease of use features, especially on Stars and the Numbers. There's some good stuff there, but if you play like Pathfinder 2E, even D&D 5E compared to Roll20, like there's a lot of like if you cast a spell with a 20-foot radius, it's baked in right to the description. You click on it, a radius will pop up, and it'll do damage to everybody in that radius. Saves you so much time compared to Roll20 and a lot of the others. I've been happy with it. There's definitely a higher learning curve than Roll20, but once you get over that learning curve, which I think I'm getting close to, it's a lot easier and a lot better than Roll20. But with that said, with our next game of the month, let's actually give a shout out to that now. We will be going back to Roll20 because it's not on Foundry yet. But we're doing the Marvel Multiverse 616 game as our August game of the month. This came out. I got a copy of the book today. So I think it came out today or came out yesterday. So that's going to be our game of the month. And they partnered with Roll20 for the launch on that one. So we will be using that for the system. Oh, yeah, so with that, too, so Dreaming Dark, there's another one with Roll20. Oh, so Rut was the one with the question. Dreaming Dark with some answers. So, yeah, I use Forge for mine as a host site. You can host it yourself, too, with Foundry, but it's not a lot of work. It's just work I don't want to do. It's pretty easy to do. I have to ping him again, but well, I'm blanking on his name right now, too. I feel bad. But we had him on, and we went through Cakeman. Thank you, Caleb Cakeman. Went through with the Foundry demos, and he actually hosts his own kind of version of it. Maybe I'll ping him again, and we'll go through and show you how to do that, too, because it's definitely worth it. It's free to do that way. But with the hosting thing before, just not. So we are going to, we're at part 2 of the adventure. One last thing I will say is if you haven't yet, throw SWN into the chat for your chance to win a free free copy of the paid version of Stars Without Number. Nice thing with this, though, is even if you don't win that, we're going to make sure we put the free version in, which Kevin Crawford made too. So big shout outs there, but make sure to get into that for the win. But yeah, so the crew right now is hustling through the corridors, just leaving this dead arachnid-like snake creature that they shot down, dying behind them with the sounds of scurrying and clawing of other creatures, kind of maneuvering through from the radiation lab, heading towards them as they kind of dash down this corridor. And as you guys move through, eventually you kind of hustle down this corridor and through the next. And eventually you guys do get close to where you think the schematics for the bridge would indicate. But as you get through there, you do see kind of a door at the far end. And rather than kind of the usual door that's down, you see this blast door kind of across. And you see on the data pad, unsafe conditions kind of scrawled across it to the little pad that would allow you to enter the room.
Can I log into the data pad or take a look at it and see if it'll give me better information than just like a cause?
You do see, as you kind of access the data pad, no roll necessary. When you get to it, you see kind of tapping in. Pressure lost, atmospheric conditions unstable, life support null.
Can we try and restore the life support from this location? or see? I don't know. Like, is there just like a huge hole in there, or I don't know.
You guys did see from the outside of the ship that near the bridge there did look to be a hole in the hull.
Fuck.
There's a hole in this bucket, dear Liza, dear Liza.
Can we access any of the information from the bridge from where we are, or maybe is there another location where we could get that information, like a backup bridge, maybe in the maybe near the engine?
Give me a no check.
Okie dokie.
I'll throw a no check at that too, if you don't mind.
Perfect. You guys combine your efforts there and think about it. And you realize there's not a backup bridge where they would have the kind of the black box data, but you do know that kind of not too far from where you guys are, there is an equipment locker that may have some back suits that, if you wanted to press your luck, may let you get into the bridge.
Okay, let's see if we can do that. And if I don't know how dangerous like the stuff behind us is right now, but if we've got a minute, I'd like to reload my gun.
Yeah, you definitely you hear scurrying, but it does seem to be in the distance. It hasn't kind of gotten closer the last few seconds, so you could definitely have time to reload your gun.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do the same.
Good. Yep, reloaded. I think my character starts with 80 rounds, so I shouldn't have to worry about it till I hit the third reload. Or fourth.
Nice thing about hammers is you don't have to reload them. You just cock them and swing them.
You say that, but I feel like that hammer would be a lot more effective if you put a bomb on the side of it. And you definitely have to reload the bomb.
Edgar just kind of like stares at you blankly.
I don't need to ask the angels to know if that's a good idea or not.
A bomb attached to a hammer would be far more effective at destroying your target. I'm just saying. You may only be able to use it once, which seems like a small problem.
Maybe a rocket so I can swing it even faster.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome. Or maybe a gun hammer. There's a rocket on one end and it shoots bullets when it hits or something. I don't know. There got to be some cool ways to upgrade hammers. I think Killing Floor 2 has a hammer that's got that. That's just awesome.
I'll have to check that out sometime.
Perfect.
Great
You guys
Halloween.
are able to make your way kind of across the hallway, heading towards the equipment room, and you kind of see going through the sickly smell of kind of this bitter, kind of rotting fruit seems to fade as you kind of head across the ship towards the equipment room. It's still kind of present in the back of your nostrils, but not as overbearing, not as oppressive as it has been in other areas of the ship. And eventually you do see this kind of the door that would lead to the equipment hall. You see the kind of equipment emblazoned above it. And you see kind of like things piled up around. You see like a table overturned, kind of like placed like on its side in front of the door. You see kind of around it what looks to be kind of like various debris and kind of different pieces around, like a metal area, like a metal like shrapnel and pieces in front of the door. You even see some spent shell casings in front of the door as well.
looks like somebody had a defensive point here. Or tried to, anyways.
Might be useful for us if we run into trouble again. So is all the debris blocking the door, or is it like next to the door to where we can still go through?
The table is blocking the door. You see a lot of the debris kind of surrounded around. Almost. Give me a notice check.
Alrighty.
Yeah, so definitely the table's blocking the door. You see kind of the debris scattered around, but you're not really able to see a rhyme or a reason.
Could just be mess caused by those weird creatures. But we need to get to those vac suits.
So we start moving the stuff out of the way so we can get into there.
You said you start moving stuff out of the way?
Yeah, I think we have to.
Perfect. As you start moving some of the debris out of the way and head towards the table, you hear this voice shout out with panic infused through it. Get away! Get away, you bastards! I said I'll blow your head off!
Is that wait? Are any of us? Do any of us have decent charisma?
I've got +2.
What do you do outside of asking, do any of you have decent charisma?
I've known these people for a while now, and so I look at my comrade with decent charisma, the guy with a +2, and I kind of gesture, be like, maybe talk to this guy. He probably thinks that we're like those monsters. Could you maybe
What? We are monsters. Hey,
Okay.
hey!
Enough of the
Who's in the lead
existential
right now?
shit.
Dude in the closet. My name is Edgar, and we're just trying to get to the vac suit so we can get to the bridge and see what's going on. You wanna?
We're gonna have you make a talk check in a second, but which one of you is in the lead right now?
Me.
All right, make me a reflex save.
Reflex. I don't see reflex.
Oh, did I name it wrong? It's the
Oh no,
I see evasion.
evasion. Sorry, not reflex. Evasion.
This doesn't sound good. Why don't I say evasion either?
It should be like in the middle top part of your sheet.
yeah.
Oh, there it is. I'm going to add my dex to that because that sounds like a thing that makes sense.
Yeah, so you have your choice of dex or int.
I'm going to go with dex.
Solid. Yeah, you see as you call out and after the discussion with your crew after he shouted at you, you see like part of the debris kind of spark up. You see some fletches kind of like almost like a little makeshift frag bomb pop off. You see these sparks of shrapnel kind of jet out towards you, but luckily you're fast enough to avoid it. And you kind of maneuver aside as it comes through. And he goes, "Yeah, that's right, you dirty beast. Just stand back." But give me a talk check too.
And I'm going to add my charisma to that one.
And side note, I do love kind of the way they've named these skills. Like it's just talk, notice, like it's all like straightforward. No, I like that. Yeah, so you hear it kind of like a little change in his voice. Goes, they can talk now. And just just go. This is I've claimed this spot. This is where I'm hiding out. You find your own hiding spot.
Look, we're not looking to hide. We just need some supplies from in your closet there, and It'd be mighty neighborly of you to hand them over.
If I open it up, they're gonna come in. There's no vents in here. They're gonna come in. They're gonna drag us all off. I don't want to get eaten like them.
So, all right, you don't want to give us the supplies we need. So how about you give us some information then? Obviously, I'm talking to you. You're talking to me. Let's keep this conversation going, okay? What what's going on? How come this is happening?
Give me another talk check, actually. Yeah, give me a talk check. Nice. You see, he goes, well, nobody else talked back to me yet. I guess I can help. Well, I, we were running back from a run, and we were a little behind. Captain decided to push us through. Got an asteroid view. Punctured through a hole, and I thought all hell broke loose. I don't know what was going on, but these creatures, they came out. They started trying to eat up the crew. They kind of started first. It was a few every hour or so, but then they started taking tons of us. It felt like they kept multiplying and multiplying and multiplying. And it's just me left.
Quit not asking him this question, but when we came in, were we still in that asteroid field?
You see asteroids around, but the ship does seem to be. You kind of see asteroids like if you check the star charts before, like of the kind of behind the ship does seem to have made it through the asteroid field.
Okay. Well, look, son. Well, I guess I should ask, what is your name?
Can't tell if you're real or not, but my name's Brady.
Bray? All right. I'd say nice to meet you, but I'm not sure the circumstances are right for that statement, right? But here's the deal, man. Uh, you've been drifting. We're still near that asteroid field, but we're not in it. My name is Edgar, as I said before, and my friends here and I, we came from the Shadow Dart. That's the name of our ship, and we came across this derelict. Thought maybe we'd score some cargo to bring home and fatten our pockets a little bit, and this is turning out to be a bit more than we wanted it to be. So at this point, you helping us out might get you a ticket home. You think you can help us out? Or do you want to keep hiding here until the life support runs out?
You got a ship?
We do.
Well, let's get the hell out. I don't know if you're real or not, but if you got a ship, let's just go. I'll open the door. I can give you some vac suits. I got a little bit of ammo too. I got a little shotgun. We just go. We can head out. We can go. Get out of this hellscape.
Well, I mean, we've gone through all this effort. I don't want to leave and show for nothing. I kind of say to the other members of the crew, not to him as much. Shouldn't just leave immediately. I at least want to find out what's going on in the bridge, or hit the cargo room to get some cargo to go.
Let's table that for now. We'll come back to it. First, we got to get to the bridge. We got to get there before we can really make any decisions on if there's anything here to salvage or not. You know, nothing here is worth our lives.
Friend, quick question for you. While we're deciding how we're going to proceed here, this is how we make our living, and there is a certain level of risk involved in that. So we're just trying to determine how much more effort we want to put into this. We want to live, of course, but we got to eat to live too. So you tell me, what were you guys hauling? How
Or
long ago
manure.
did this attack happen?
Just manure. I mean, there's just, if you want to go down there, there's just shit back there. Let's just get the hell out.
Does it seem like he's telling the truth or making that up?
Oh, what is I think it's notice for lies too. Hold on, let me check the skill sheet. And I'll put a little plug out. Whenever you're playing a new system, always try to check the skill sheet to get a check going. Because I forgot if notice is lies too.
There's a
Yeah, different
connect.
one.
I'm not sure if that's that or something else.
I think there may be a different one for lies. It might be notice too. I think it is notice too. Yeah, so give me a notice check.
Alrighty. 5.
He seems frightened, but just overwhelming fear. You really can't tell if he's shooting straight with you or just trying to BS you. So what are you guys doing?
He seems trustworthy.
I don't know. I'm still kind of suspicious. But I know who I do trust. I'm going to use another precog to ask the angels if I went down to the cargo bay and went inside the cargo bay, what would I find there?
All right. So add another effort in. You kind of see, as you kind of deepen your psychic powers and kind of look in there, you see this cargo hold, and it is filled. Not filled with shit either. It is filled with gems. You see crates of credits that they've extorted from the local colonies they got it from. You see these rare precious gems. You see bricks of gold. You see even just kind of other minerals and things and resources that could fetch a hefty price on the market, kind of all stacked up in the hold. But you also see too, I don't know if they would call it nest. It looks like all the bodies and gore and things you didn't see, you see kind of scattered around that hole. You see bones protruding from areas. You see some of the blood and gore. You see, I'm gonna say like a weird, like gathering of clothes and blankets and things like that, where it almost looks like they've made themselves like a little nest scattered through this hole, and their feeding grounds. You see riches unimaginable. If you're able to get even a quarter, an eighth, a tenth of this out, you could all buy your own ships and never have to work again.
I'll say the only shit in this ship is what's coming out of his mouth. The angels have shown me what's in the cargo hold, and if we could even get just a little bit of that, it'd make all this worth it. Trust me.
So
he's lying, guys. He's lying. There's nothing. I told you, there's shit there. Let's just go. Let's go. He's talking about angels. He's a little cooked in the head. Let's just go home.
all right, Fred, here's what I'm going to tell you. We're going to go about and do the things that we need to do. And once we've done what we need to do, we'll come back and get you. I don't believe in leaving people out here to die. I didn't serve in the military for as long as I did just to let people die. Lord knows I took enough lives. So you just stay put. And when we're ready, we'll come get you.
Well, he's got the vac suits. We need those.
Only if we need to go to the bridge, but we don't need to go to the bridge anymore, do we? We know what happened, according to him. We know what's in there, according to your angels. So, what else do we need on the bridge?
That's true. Ratchet, you seem most eager to go there.
What I want to know.
I want to get it. I want to get to the bridge first. See what's going on. See what decisions we can make. I'm not opposed to trying to try and make money out of this, but I don't want to die doing it.
Yeah, it certainly did seem to be That's where these creatures' nests are. A lot of danger in that area. But we only got to take all of it. Just got to take a little bit.
I still think we should just jettison the cargo and take what we can from the ship on the outside.
Especially if the cargo is radioactive.
Is that something we could do from the bridge, maybe? Or will we have to go down to the cargo bay?
To jettison the cargo, yeah, you would have to. Unfortunately, that would require going to the cargo bay. You could definitely vent the atmosphere from the bridge if the bridge is functional, but you would be able to kind of hurl the stuff into space without unlocking the airlocks.
Well, yeah, if we vent the atmosphere in the cargo bay, that should hopefully. But I don't know. Who knows with these creatures? They were living on an asteroid. Seems like.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Best bet would probably be to put it back to sleep.
Well, any ideas on how to get the vac suits from this guy? Because if not, then the bridge is not an option.
He's gonna give us the suits because he wants to come with us to the bridge so that we can figure out what's going on this ship.
I don't give a dang thing about finding out what happened to this ship. I just want to. Hey, you give me the codes to your ship, I'll go wait patiently. You can get in here.
No.
I'll go ahead on your ship, and I'll just fold my hands up and wait for y'all.
Nope.
You're gonna
I don't
come with
believe
us
that for a rat second.
because the bridge is where we can get information not only on what's going on with the ship, but it'll also give us information on the safest way to get back to our ship.
If you all want a vac suit, I'll throw you some outside. But like your buddy said over there, I like that guy, the military guy. You guys can come pick me up on your way out.
Deal. Throw out the vac suits. As many as you got. -1 for yourself.
Got mine on right now. I'm not taking no chances with this. But yeah, you see, he kind of like, rather than like the usual automated doors that whoosh up, still like an automated, but you see him kind of like lifting it up with one hand and just like pushing through the suits with another. And eventually he does push out 3 vac suits for the group. He goes, now you're a man of your word, right?
Usually.
When he lifts open the door, even just a crack, I'm gonna try to peek under to see if I can get any sign of what things look like on the other side. If he's got like a whole bunch of supplies or anything we don't know about.
Yeah, definitely. Give me a notice check. Nice. Yeah, taking a look through, you do see like pretty like it's definitely like a decent equipment hole. You see that there's like kind of a decent bit of resources in. There's some grenades located within. You see he's got like a ton of food stuff on the inside. You see he is in a vac suit right now. Kind of not with it all turned on, but definitely is in that vac suit. You see kind of the bottom of his feet on that side. And you do see he's got a shotgun in his left hand as he's pushing through the thing into his right hand.
All right, Ree. Thanks for the vac suits. We'll come back for you. Now, if you start smelling something funny, which you probably won't be able to inside your vac suit, but you start smelling something that smells like rotten fruit, you get real quiet and hope they don't notice you.
Okay, well, I'll do that. And I'm holding you to your word. But I'm just telling you, there's just shit back there. Just come. We can go. Your ship, maybe it's still there. And we can just go home. But yeah, if you need to go see the bridge and see its full bar up there, you go take a look. But just when you see that, just come back. You don't need to go in the cargo hold. We can just go home. But yeah, you go check now, and I'll wait for you.
Sounds good. So I assume we put on our vac suits and head to the bridge.
Perfect. You guys are able to gear up with your vac suits, head to the bridge, and after I don't know who is putting in that override, but you are able to input the override into the control panel near the door that was kind of separating you guys from the vac area and the bridge. And you do see it open up. And you see, as you kind of see it open up, you feel the whoosh of air kind of going towards you as the kind of the atmosphere is vented. You do see kind of swirling around various debris that look like pieces from the hole. And you also see kind of across this expanse of open space within the strip with kind of this large, like, I don't know how big, like a boulder sized hole within the ship's hold, and kind of this various swarming debris. And you kind of see it just kind of maneuvering around, bouncing, and kind of moving with a quick pace. You do see the door, and you know this one does lead directly to the bridge across this kind of almost treacherous run of kind of scattered debris that's moving through. And you guys know that the wrong hit or the wrong move could have a hit on your vac suit and could bend you to the space. How do you guys play it?
Are you really sure we need the bridge?
There any like long loose wires or anything like that around here that we can use to kind of tie ourselves off, but still get enough slack to where we could reach across, like get to the other side without, to where if something goes wrong and we like float off into space, we can just use the wire to pull ourselves back.
Oh, definitely. Give me a survive check. See if you find any wires or things like that that can help tie off the crew.
Cool.
We'll say DC 8 on that.
All right, and I'll roll a wisdom, just kind of thinking on my feet. Oof.
Fortunately, you see some wires and things, but nothing that could really support like a full-grown adult's way.
I might do the same.
Nice. Yeah, so yeah, you do find one, and definitely when you guys are doing the double up checks, call those out beforehand. But yeah, we'll say you are able to find that too.
All right, well, we're rigged up with a wire. Here goes nothing.
So you guys kind of diving into the maelstrom.
So, are these suits equipped with like little air packs or magnet boots or anything like that to help us navigate through?
Unfortunately, not. These are just true vac suits protecting you from the void of space. They don't have. Forgot what those. Those are gravity boots or something they call in the Stars Without Number system, or the repulsor packs.
Is there a, so there's no air in the space because of the giant hole, but is like the ship's artificial gravity still in place here, or is that kind of gone out of whack with the damage?
In this area with kind of the damage and the hole, it is kind of like everything's floating, and that's kind of why all those like the debris and all that's kind of like bouncing off each other and continuing in the motion that they were before when the crash hit.
Cool and good.
Well, Edgar, with the 0G here, maybe you can take a few swings with your hammer and try to knock some of the debris into other debris and clear a path for us. You know, if you get a solid hit on something and hit it in a good trajectory, it'll probably go pretty far.
Yeah, if it's big enough. Of course, if we got anything big enough, we could probably just carry it like a shield too. At least cover part of us. So,
now, Raph, do you have anything big enough?
I mean, I've still got my droid, but I like my droid. I don't want it to get hurt.
Well,
I'm saying you can't use it. I just want you to feel guilty about it.
Or we could go back for that table.
No, every minute we spend here is another chance to die. I'll sacrifice my droid, but if I sacrifice my droid, we're going into that.
Ratchet, I'll do you a favor. I'm going to use my sense the need power. And when we were back in the area with the table and the engineering room, I got a premonition that we really needed this table for some reason. So I've been carrying this table all the way here, and we have the table. Cost me some effort, but
Nice. Solid callback on that one. I was wondering when you're going to use that. So, yeah. You all kind of realize you've seen Ms. Fear carrying that table for just through the ship. It's all of a sudden kind of coming back to you, almost like flashback style. Yeah, Ms. Fear, you've got that table encumbered a little bit, but you do have that in front of you. Are you guys kind of jutting forward and trying to use the table to soak up some blows?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna try to do. We're gonna use that wire to help guide us across while we table surf to help the table block some of that debris from hitting us.
Perfect. Everybody give me an evasion check, but add a +4 modifier due to your table providing some healthy interference for you.
Oof, I failed.
Did you put the
Well,
+4 in there?
you were carrying the table. You couldn't really maneuver well because you were holding on to it.
Oof, all right. Edgar, were you after it was Messphere or Edgar holding the table? We'll say it doesn't affect any of the modifiers. I was going to narrate what happened. I want to make sure who was holding the table, or as you go through the craziness.
probably hand
As
it
the
off to
strength-based
Edgar.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Messphere and Ratchet, you guys are able to take cover behind the table as this maelstrom of kind of just parts, wreckage, and all that storms around. Edgar, as you're pushing forward to that table, you do feel some of these things kind of puncture and kind of hit through your suit and kind of cut into you. But fortunately, only 2 damage, which because what's your HP? It's not 4, right?
HP is 12.
12?
12.
What'd you roll?
I just went with the preloaded thing that said that I have.
Oh, yeah, because you're a soldier too, right?
Yeah.
Or warrior, I should say. Yeah, I forgot you had HP bonus. Perfect. Yeah. So luckily, that's nowhere near half of your HP. So yeah, you do get some cuts and things like that. But luckily, with the vac suits, as long as it's not half your HP in a roll, it does self-seal. So those things puncture through and hurt you. And so -2 from your HP, but luckily, you don't have to worry about being exposed to the void of space.
Oh, good.
And eventually, you guys do reach the other side. You still see the maelstrom storming around you. You see the data pad in front of you. This one is hard locked with a kind of a seal across it. How are you guys getting through? Are you guys going to try to break through, not slice, hack through, program through? What are you guys doing?
I think program through is our best option, unless someone else has something that's better than a -1.
I got a big hammer.
Program it is.
Give me a program check. Solid. Just enough. You are able to kind of break out your cot bag, get into the system, override the security controls, and open the kind of the blast seal that broke off the other area and make your way into the bridge. And as the last person comes through, the door closes. You see the atmosphere kind of the atmospheric and life support controls re-expand the atmosphere in the area. And you guys are on the bridge. And you kind of see more of the same. And once you guys get to the bridge, you smell more of that just sweet rotted smell. You see kind of similar scenes of blast, kind of areas with gouges, blast, and stuff, sickly smell across it, but no bodies, no blood even. You see kind of spent shell casings as well as marks in the wall. But outside of that, no signs that people were here. Uh, you see a bridge control system, as well as kind of the navigation and data ports around. What are you guys doing? What are you guys looking for?
With the life support returning on the bridge itself, is the system still operational to show us any life signs? At least for crew.
Or of the monsters. If it shows light signs,
Ideally everything,
where they
but
are,
at least the crew.
So, fortunately, there's nothing that really scans for life signs on board the ship. But if there's something else you could look for, let me know.
I'm gonna look for
controls.
for
So you guys both said to that first. So I'll pick on Ratchet first. What'd you say?
Well, I think I don't recall saying anything, but I think
What was that Mesosphere
I think you mentioned that that we could only vent it from the cargo bay.
We could vent atmosphere from the bridge, but we can't jettison the cargo until we get to the cargo bay. My hope is that if we vent the atmosphere, that these monsters will go to sleep or something.
Or die. Maybe they may need life support to live as well. Well, not if they came from the asteroid.
They also seem to be surviving off of. Well, no, that wouldn't work either. What about the captain's log? Is there any sign of where that might be, or the black box?
Oh yeah, definitely. So you guys see that kind of near the captain's chair. You do see that black box over there. Are you gonna play it? You need to hack into it.
I will. I suppose I'll start hacking into it, or
You don't need to hack into it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Just play it then. Yeah.
Perfect. You see kind of the last few logs for the captain. The first one, you see it kind of like he looks cheerful. You see this guy. He's a middle-aged guy, kind of just with a cheerful expression, stern, kind of like almost military bearing about him. But he does have a smile. He seems to be in good standing, and you can see him go, "Well, we were behind schedule, but I found a new route for the Acadia. We should be able to make it back to Eastern Prime and be able to offload our cargo ahead of schedule. I am expecting a bonus for both myself and the crew. Things are going magnificent." You see that's first recording. Second one, a few days later, you see he comes on. He looks haggard, but still has that military upright bearing. Tired, kind of definitely like he's been through the ringer, but his back is still straight. His voice still carries authority in it. And he goes, "We suffered some setbacks. Asteroid did some damage to the hull. We believe we should be able to restore the sections that were damaged with some quick patch jobs. Once we make our way outside of the asteroid field, engineering projects we should be able to do that in one standard day. It will set us back a little bit, but we should still be able to make it on time to our delivery, though we will need some repairs once we reach Beeson Prime."
What's the date stamp in relation to current day?
So this one was, so current day, this was 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago. Okay, thank you.
Can I do? I just want to know if this is his last job before he retires.
Why not? Yeah, we'll say this is his. He's the older guy. Yeah, he's definitely. You see, like the first video you saw where he was in good spirits, he had a pin on that says, "This is my last voyage. Ask me about my retirement."
Can't wait to get home to my wife and kids. Let them know I finally got that big payday I was looking for all these years. Daddy's not coming home empty-handed this time.
But you see the third message. This time, like before, he just looked haggard, but he still had his military, like kind of upright bearing. This guy, he looks beat down. You see his once uniform that was pristine, kind of well ironed, pressed, creased, is now wrinkled and kind of sullied. You see he has a gouge across his face. He comes on. The Acadia is lost. Those creatures, they kept swarming and swarming. I don't know how those critters got loose. I thought we had them secured. Beeson, you guys swore those containment would last. I don't know what the asteroid did, but it broke whatever cheap-ass materials you guys used. No, you killed this crew. The Acadia signing out.
So the creatures didn't come on
what
the
that sounds
asteroid.
like.
They were on the ship all along in containment until the asteroid broke them out.
That means that they are the cargo and that someone's still waiting for them to be delivered. We need to take them alive now.
No, you know what that means? We should probably just nuke this whole ship and just walk away before these things spread to other ships. Who knows? Our boat is probably already infected with them. We did lock that before we got out, right?
Well, so you guys definitely locked the ship. For as good of a lock will do.
I imagine our ship is not we can it's easier to clear out an infestation there than a place as big as this one.
Yeah, you guys' ship is like a tenth of the size.
The cargo holds living quarters, a bathroom, and cockpit.
Yeah.
Well, but if these creatures do require an atmosphere, then we have vac suits on. The one other guy we met has a vac suit on. I say we vent the atmosphere across the whole ship and solve that problem.
Hopefully.
So you guys been in the atmosphere?
Abso-frickin-lutely.
All right, sweet. Yeah, no check needed for that. You guys are able to go through. Gotta find. Go ahead.
Before we pull the lever to vent everything, is there a comm system or anything like that that is working in the ship?
There is a comm system. You also know that venting won't be like it's not gonna like just immediately vent. There is gonna be that robot voice that comes on in the ship going atmosphere venting in 5, 4, 3, 2, vent.
All right, so I would recommend.
Unless you want to slice through that and turn that off. Or keep saying slice. I play too much Star Wars. Unless you want to hack through that and turn that off.
The humanitarian that's left in me says that we should probably announce to the crew, whomever that may be left alive, that we're going to do this, so that way they can brace themselves and or get in a vac suit. But these things do seem to have some level of intelligence, so do we cut our losses? Our human losses?
I think we let the warning system do what it's gonna do. I'm not confident in my ability to disable it.
Okay. Where's that button?
Sweet. You guys depress the button. You hear the machine voice over the comms going, atmosphere venting. You hear the countdown. You see kind of across the the ship's systems. You see the atmosphere where some areas were green and red. Eventually, you see it all go to red.
Now the next question is, fellas, do we want to turn the atmosphere back on after a few minutes? In case we puncture our vac suits?
Yeah, I think we do.
I mean, give it a few minutes for sure, just to make sure these creatures don't survive. But it's probably better safe than sorry having the atmosphere on while we're wandering around this place.
I mean, I feel like we should leave it on, leave the system off for at least 10 minutes, and we can do a dive of any information we can while we're on the bridge waiting.
Yeah, how about we give it 20 minutes, because that's how long it's going to take you to fix up your droid.
Yeah.
And by the time you finish up with that, we'll turn on the... let's just call it 30 minutes. You're working inside a vac suit now, so dexterity is going to be a little bit lower. So we're going to give it 30 minutes.
Well, I mean, I'll take my gloves off so that I can work unhindered by a vac suit.
That's not how
Yeah.
this works.
Yeah.
That's not how this works at all. God damn, son. I know you're from military too. Did they not teach you anything?
They taught me which end of the gun to aim.
Well, clearly
They showed me
did
where
that
the
part
trigger
all right.
is.
You did okay with that earlier.
I did.
Not got no goddamn common sense though. All right. Anyways, fix your damn droid. By the time that's done, we'll turn the atmosphere back on. We'll hope it killed all the critters.
Okie dokie.
He's fixing the droid. What are the rest of you two? Atmosphere and Edgar, what are you guys doing?
I'm gonna try to look to see
Edward's
what
gonna
kind
look-
of.
Atmosphere, what are you doing first?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to look for if there's like any kind of. I mean, we look for like life sign scanners, but if there's any other kind of scanners that might like check for heat or like damage report, I want to try to like use what information I can gather to get a sense of where the creatures are most strongly concentrated, what areas we should avoid, what areas we shouldn't, or are safe to go to. That, and then also the quickest path to the cargo bay, and then from the cargo bay back to our ship.
Definitely. Give me both a notice and survive check.
Alrighty, and if you don't mind, I'll roll wisdom for both of those because this is a lot of kind of strategy and planning. There's a notice. There's a survive.
Solid. Right on for both of them. Just for both of them. But yeah, I keep forgetting to call out the difficulty for one. But yeah, so with that, you are able to first, you notice they don't have like a heat scanner or life scan scanners, but you are able to see that some of the cameras are still active on the ship. So many have been damaged with the asteroid storm and the chaos from the fights with these creatures, but some are still active. And you see a few in the cargo bay are still kind of working as intended. And you do see these creatures. They're still breathing, or not breathing. They're still alive and moving. But you saw one kind of move before and it seemed quick and like lightning fast. They do seem slower. They do seem a bit not sluggish compared to what they were before. They still seem, the void doesn't seem to be killing them, but it does seem to be, they're lizards. It does seem to be cooling them down and slowing them.
Yeah. Good news, bad news. Good news, the creatures are affected by the atmosphere, but not enough to kill them. So, might still have a few more fights on our hands, but at least it'll be a bit easier.
That's assuming
Also-
that we leave the atmosphere off.
Right. More bad news is that we need to keep the atmosphere off then. So getting a suit rupture is even more likely. And am I able to figure out kind of the quickest path down to the cargo bay and then from there to our ship? Once we
You
decide.
are kind of able to map out kind of the most efficient route from the bridge, kind of back through that vacuum area to the cargo area to the ship. Kind of have that map out, and you definitely be able to kind of distribute that to the group with that survive check.
And I wanted to look for a cargo manifest to see if we could determine what cartons would be the most valuable for us to grab.
Definitely. Give me your choice of a program check or a trade check.
You said program or what?
Trade.
Alright. Well, let's do program. Can I apply my wisdom to it?
Yeah.
Seven.
Nice. Yeah, you're able to kind of break into the system. You do see their manifest. And you see kind of a lot of what Ms. Fear described earlier, kind of a lot of the gold, diamonds, crates of credit. You see kind of those listed out. But you also do see just two pods with Creature X included in.
Kind of terrifying that there were only 2 of them and now there's this many.
Clearly, these things reproduce quickly. We've been 3 weeks since they broke out of containment.
So I'm thinking what we do is don't go into the cargo bay or as little as possible and just jettison all the cargo and then come around in our ship and kind of grab what we can. I don't know, does our ship have like a tractor beam or anything like that that might be
Raffle
useful?
arms or
Yeah, it definitely does have like I will say I'm not. Well, I say that a tractor beam. It is able to kind of go through and grab pieces, but you guys do know you have to go in, like as you said, a little bit into their den to be able to jettison that bay. And we'll say too with Edgar, you are able to once you kind of map that manifest, you'd be pretty confident once you're in your ship to see which boxes would be the best ones to grab.
yeah, I imagine they're listed with like A 1 through whatever, B 1 through whatever. So I figured that the manifest would probably relate to some sort of cataloging system like that. So we would be able to just be like, yes, we're looking for Q17.
100%. This is Evison. Evison is definitely the standard of corporate bureaucracy. There is labels upon labels.
Obviously, that's how they hide all their illegal stuff.
So, what's the crew thinking? Are you guys going to risk heading into the cargo bay and trying to jettison the group and picking off with the ship and gathering some of the equipment? Are you fleeing? Are you hanging out with Bradley or Brady? What are you guys doing?
Let's get the treasure.
Mm-hmm. I think the cargo bays are next up. You're a robot all fixed up?
What kind of... let's do a check on that.
Yeah, give me a fix check. Yeah, so you get him like back, like is you got him to stop saying error, unknown life forms detected. But he is still kind of like flying in circles around this bridge as Sphere and Edgar are looking up manifest as well as life support systems and all that.
Well, maybe it'll be a decent distraction in there.
I'm surprised to see your attachment to him and faded very quickly.
Once it became obvious you wouldn't be able to make it into a sex bot, you think he's lost interest real quick.
Whoa! Whoa! Who says I can't still do that?
His name isn't Sony.
Give me time. I can stamp it. But I was more concerned. I mean, I like it, but if we're gonna try and make this much money, we need every advantage we can get. It's gonna be incredibly dangerous in there. And I can probably buy a better sex bot. I mean, buy a better robot with whatever we leave here with.
Makes sense to me. Just gotta make it out of that cargo bay alive. So, guess we can head out now.
Before we leave the bridge, is the propulsion system online at all?
You see that kind of from the asteroid damage and the resulting damage from Creature X kind of making its way across the ships. It has no propulsion. It is not able to propel itself forward at all.
Okay. And then, second question, is there a med kit or anything like that around?
Not on the bridge.
I have I have one med kit in my inventory, and as well as a few other items of that sort.
It's only 2 hit points. I'm not worried about it right now, so I don't want to waste a supply that you have. If there was one laying around, then I would go ahead and take it. But cool. That's all I got.
Sweet. So, what's your cruise plan? We'll say you're able to make it through back to the Maelstrom unharmed. The kind of the gravityless area, or the whole thing is not gravityless. As you guys make your way back through the kind of towards the cargo area. But how are you guys approaching this? Are you guys approaching Creature X's lair, trying to make your way within and towards the decompression module to send the cargo and hopefully Creature X hurtling into the space? How you guys planning it?
I don't know about the two of y'all, but I can move a little stealthily. So that's kind of what I think plan A should be. But I'm open to other ideas. I also don't like the idea of going in there alone. But if you don't feel comfortable with your movement, then I'll do what I must.
Is there only one entrance into the cargo hold?
So you know that kind of like the official entrance, there's one into the cargo hold, but you've seen these creatures skittering through the vents, so you know the vents probably reach the cargo hold.
But there's just like only one door that goes to it, or is there like multiple doors?
One door that goes through.
Lame. So I would say that we try to sneak in, and that we then send the droid off elsewhere nearby to make a bunch of noise and try to draw these
That
things
droid's
away.
going in circles right now. It's no longer shouting error, but it is flying in circles. So you guys don't let that prohibit you from coming with a plan. But you probably realize it's not going to be a good, sophisticated plan for that droid that doesn't involve it flying in circles.
I mean, all we needed to do is make noise and distract them somewhere that's not where we are. Though at the same time, we do want them to be inside the cargo bay, so when we jettison the cargo, they go with it.
I think realistically, we need to realize, or realistically, at least tactically for me, as long as our scout, I guess, or our stealthy character who can actually maintenance or use the console is within 100 feet of me, I can provide cover fire. Realistically, I'm not sorry, not 100 feet, 100 meters. So that's all the distance I need to be on it. But I don't know how much help Edwin could be, unless he's prepared to charge right in as things get bad.
I mean,
I
that's
don't-
all I've ever done.
Yeah. It's a matter of how far is the console we're going to need? How close is it to the den in comparison to where we need to go? Is it like, a few meters in, or is it like 100 meters in?
Were we able to tell that from the cameras we saw?
So you guys were able to tell that from the cameras. It is 50 meters in.
Okay. So I can provide covering and support fire from outside, essentially. I don't think that the robot's going to be useful at all.
All right. So you're going to stay in the corridor outside the room to provide cover fire while I'm sorry, I can't remember your character name.
Medsphere.
Medsphere. And I go into the council. That way I can provide immediate cover for Medsphere right there, and you can pick off anything else that's running, but that leaves you in the corridor by yourself.
I can run.
You better not leave us.
I can run.
Does the panel to activate the jettison, is it just like a button to press, or is it going to require some hacking and overrides, or will we have to figure that out when we get there?
You would know it is just a button to press, but if you press it, it opens.
This is a really bad design. Who designs it so you have to be in the room that you jettison it from?
Is there like a handle to like at least hang on to something when that happens?
What type of corporation wants you to jettison its cargo? Veasan cares more about profits than people.
It's a rare point of view, to be sure.
There isn't regulations imposed on these corporations that
They
require
are
this
a
for safe space
galactic
travel?
mega corporation. What do you think? What do you think?
All right.
I think that there are regulations, but they flout them because they can afford to pay the fines.
Got it in one. Got it.
What are our chances of reprogramming one of these robots to press the button for us?
Oh,
Or will that
I mean,
even be allowed by that?
I think, like, it seems to be in better condition before my last hacking, so I think it's non-existent that we're going to get something useful out of it.
yeah. Fortunately, you guys would have to spend like it. Ratchet did fix it up. It's kind of out of its memory banks are no longer corroded as much as they were, but it is stuck in that circle loop. So for that one, it would take some decent time. If you guys wanted to spend another hour on the bridge, you may be able to get it fixed up then, ready to go. But yeah, it would take some time there. The other ones you would need like days to repair after they were bashed in with a hammer, had their mega mainframe shot out. So what's the crew doing?
All right. Hear me out. We go find like a metal bar that's broken off somewhere, and maybe some wire or rope or something, and attach it to this robot that's flying in circles. We bring him into the cargo bay and try to position him in a way to where he's going to hit the button with the bar, and then we book it out of there before he gets there. That's
To quote Nick Fury, I've heard your plan, and as a stupid one, I've chosen to ignore it.
look. Well, the angels have been quiet, so I'm fresh out of anything else.
Let's just go in, hit the button, and do our best to live.
Hey,
Sweet.
if
So you guys are heading towards.
It's simple, stupid. All right, let's go in.
Perfect. Well, you guys, everybody, as you guys move through the bridge and move through the interior of the ship, you still smell that rotting kind of fruit smell, but you don't hear the skittering anymore. It does seem a little quieter as you guys move through and make your way back to the mess hall towards where the cargo hold of the ship is. As you guys reach the mess hall, give me a stealth check, and I'll be right back, and we'll wrap up this little piece.
Okie dokie.
I think that means we're gonna die.
Oh, yes.
That's a sneak, not a stealth, a sneak. And I'm adding my dex to it.
Me too.
And I've got a 4.
I'm hanging out outside, so I don't have to roll a sneak check.
No, we're in the mess hall. We haven't even gotten there yet.
Oh, god dang it. Okay, come on, sneak. I believe in you. I am going to use my dexterity.
It's a sneak. Clearly, I'm the distraction.
Well, we wouldn't have it any other way.
I mean, big man with a hammer. What were you expecting?
A
Also-
distraction.
Also, that 18 AC is entirely natural armor for me.
You're telling me it's not augmented, that's natural?
That's natural.
Baby was born with it?
A baby was born with it.
Sweet. So let me
The Ironhide focus.
How sneak sweat. Yeah, Edgar, not so great. So what's marching order? I should have asked that beforehand.
Same as
Edgar in
before.
front.
I'll take the middle.
Edgar, I'll let you fill in the blank, but you did something that triggered some noise. And as you trigger that noise, it sounds slower. Sounds like a little bit off than it did before, but you hear that same gouging and skittering that you did before. Edgar, what did you do? What caused that noise as you were coming closer?
Explain yourself.
So, Edgar is moving along, and he has his hammer out as usual. And he is keeping an eye, and as he's looking up at the ceiling for the vents and looking down at the floor, he's kind of rotating around a table in the mess hall that has a discarded tray kind of precariously perched on it, and he manages to lose track of it and bump into it before it falls and clatters to the ground. And of course, these are metal lunch trays with metal silverware, and it just makes a huge racket.
You hear that commotion going. You hear the creature skittering. You've got to see him or hear him coming from the radiation once again, as well as you know that they've got their nest in within the cargo hold. You guys are near the mess hall. You're near that cargo hold. What are you guys doing?
Riding boys.
Preparing for incoming death.
Yeah. I think I'll just start sprinting in the direction of the cargo hold that we have mapped out. It's like, let's try to move.
Sweet. Everybody give me exert checks. Everybody that's running. I think I heard two of you say running. Cut somebody off, but if you're running, give me an exert check.
Surplus dex.
Sweet. That could work.
11.
Nice.
9.
Solid. This crew did not skip on cardiovascular. You
Or
guys
leg
are
day.
hauling through. You hear the skittering, but it was kind of coming towards where you were before. It is kind of reorienting to where you are now. And they are behind you guys. You are able to reach the door of the cargo hold. And you see it's closed, but you are able to get into position. Are you guys keeping with plan A with Edgar and Miss Fear going or trying to sneak in, or trying to get in and get towards that depression switch and send the cargo flying out?
I think so.
Yep.
I think we
Um,
lose the stealth aspect of it and just go for quick.
Yeah. I mean, if we're being followed, chased, we're not going to be quiet. We just run like hell.
Is there any sign of them, the ones from the mess hall, still coming after us, or do I hear activity in
You
the
do
cargo
hear
room?
them. They initially went towards where you guys were in the mess hall, but they are arcing towards you. They're just a little bit behind you now.
All right, yeah, let's move it then. Plan B, make a run for it to the depression switch.
All right. So Ratchet, you're taking position. So you know, check for you. You're able to kind of get your rifle leveled and ready. Miss Fear and Edgar, give me another exert check.
Alrighty.
And while they're doing that, if you haven't yet, we're getting towards the end of the adventure. Throw SWN in the chat. We've got five people in so far. So throw it in. Give you a chance to win a free copy. Yeah, let's see what that roll was. Oh, solid. Yeah, you guys are running pretty well. You guys are able to book it through. As you see the door open, I imagine that Ratchet hits the depression or the open switch for you guys. You see it come through. You see just this array of riches and jewels and things that can be sold at a high profit for the Veasan Corporation. But you guys book it straight through. And around those kind of this riches, this opulence, you see these makeshift nests that the creature X is made, some including kind of blankets and carpets, some including limbs of those they've devoured, and you see kind of these like little wet masses too next to the nest. But you are able to book it. You see some of the creatures kind of sluggishly look up as they've kind of see you coming in. Fortunately, slowed by the atmosphere, the dump that you guys produced. You guys are able to make it to the depression switch ahead of these creatures. How are you guys planning? What are you guys doing?
Is there something to hold on to?
Yeah, there is a kind of like next to the depression switch, there is one handhold.
Alright, I'll grab onto that, wait for Edgar to do the same,
Uh-huh.
and slam that button.
Sweet. Give me a physical save. You have a physical save. You give your choice between strength and constitution. Oh shit! All right.
Oh.
I'm assuming I can skip that save because I'm
Oh
hanging
no,
out
you're good over
the
there.
doorway.
Yeah.
17.
All right, Edgar. You hold like you've been holding a big ass hammer this whole day. You strength is not where you lack at. You're able to hold on. Miss Fear, the angels are not with you right now, and you do kind of hold on for a bit, but you feel your weight gripping, and eventually it looses. And you, along with the cargo, are starting to fly out of the bay. You see this gold, this riches, some of the nests, some of the creatures, X's flying through. And Miss Fear, you are going to be out into the abyss of space soon. What can you do, Edgar? Is there anything you can do to help? He's beyond your reach. You can't reach him through physical means, but if you have any other plans, and Miss Fear, if you have any other plans, let's hear him now.
I want to look to see if I spot close to me any of the crates with the specific markings that we identified as being highly valuable, like with the labels.
Definitely give me a notice check.
Alrighty. 7.
Nice. Yeah, you do spot some of the ones with kind of the crates of straight credits where kind of the high valued ones they've extorted from those colonies. What are you doing with it?
I'm gonna try to grab onto that one and then just shout to Edgar, pick me up on the other side.
Okay.
No. So I will say, you guys do see those creatures are out in the space as well, kind of floating around Pormosphere.
Has the cargo fully jettisoned?
Yeah, if you wait, you could definitely wait till the cargo has fully jettisoned.
Yep.
Let's close that gate then, so that we can repressurize and get the heck off the ship.
Yeah, as soon as it seems like all the cargo, or at least most of the cargo and most of the bugs have jettisoned, um, I'll hit that red button and close the gate up.
Sweet. So you guys are trying to close the gate up and then race to the ship to pick up Sphere?
Yeah.
All right. You guys are both going to make an exert check. This is going to be a hard one. This is going to be a DC 12. And what I'm going to say is these creatures, when they can make an attack, can make 2 attacks. So actually, one of you guys is going to make this exert check. Each 2 that you fail by, though, they'll be able to make an attack. So if you've got a 4 compared to that 12, that would be 4 attacks that they'd be able to do. 4 attacks? Yeah, 4 attacks that they'd be able to do on Pormosphere.
Can we invest in can we like amplify our exert check somehow with like, I don't know if there's like a burn die or something like that in this game?
Unfortunately not.
I think
Okay.
some of the classes have like a once per day reroll for certain things.
Oh yeah, if you've got like some of the one of those class features, you can, but there's no like overall burn die.
Okay.
It was exhaustion.
So this crew has been together for a while. I'd just like to know if Ms. Veer would like it if I just shot him to put him out of his misery before he's attacked by these monsters, or if he'd rather just suffer until they get him.
Probably what you would have known from traveling with Miss Veer is he has sort of absolute faith in these so-called angels and is willing to kind of go through whatever it takes when there's a some chance of survival.
So don't shoot him. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I have the power to not shoot him. I can do that. Exert check it is.
So one of you guys get to designate who makes the exert check.
I got a +0. What about you?
I'm +0 on exert, and then I'm adding dex of +2.
You got a +2 with dex? I've only got a +1. I figured I'd be dexier than you. Okay, yeah, I think you should do that then.
Okie dokie. Here goes nothing.
Let's see how this goes.
7.
7.
Feel good about that.
So hold on. Yeah, I'm doing math, which is my least favorite part of RPGs. There we go. So that is off by 3. So it's gonna make 3 attacks. So let's see how this goes for Pormosphere.
Who is the squishiest character of the group?
I will say there's as many attacks happening right now as I have hit points. So
No.
You have 3 hit points. Oh shit! Yeah,
I feel so good about this. Feels so good.
We'll catch him on the other side with all those credits.
yeah, I mean,
Pay for a real nice funeral.
small chance I wake
Hold
up
on.
in a med bay in a
Why?
week.
He's already buried in space. Let's not. let's not.
Look, you're gonna have to pry my corpse off of this valuable crate. So
Oh,
I don't
All
think
right.
you're connected to the crate.
So first hit didn't go great.
Yep.
So you guys are able to make it to the ship. Actually, you guys are able to make it to the ship. So Edgar, you rolled an exert. Ratchet, roll me a d20, just straight d20.
Okay.
And I'll clarify too. This is not relating to Sphere. This is just something completely different.
Okay, I am just gonna roll because I don't know how to roll straight d20. I'm just gonna roll evasion, and because I think that's a
If you roll at
d20.
the bottom of the Foundry screen, there's like a dice that has on the bottom. There's like a dice that represents all the, or like a screen that represents all the different dice.
Either way, I
Okay.
did my thing, and it's a 5, so I feel good about that too.
All right. Yeah. So you guys get to the ship. You see the ship's door is open. Luckily, it's not gone yet. But you do see Brady like trying to hotwire the ship as you guys make your way in there, and he goes, "Oh, hey, fellas, you, you didn't come back for me.
We're not done.
I'll step aside. You can start the ship up. It was a little. I don't want to say too much, but it was just a little hard to get going, if you know what I mean."
I'm gonna punch him in the gut.
Too late.
Are you guys shooting? Well, Ratchet, yeah, 18. Oh, 18 will hit with 8 damage. Yeah, take him down.
I shoot him in the head. I don't play that shit.
Why are you shooting firearms inside of a space vessel?
Which is
I'm not
forcing
shooting
them-
firearms. I'm shooting a bullet into his head. It's not going to affect the space vessel at all.
Except it's gonna.
Luckily, with your aim, it won't this time.
I
Because that
ass-
goes right into his head. You see poor Brady, this traumatized guy, fall
Poor.
to the ground. You
Poor.
guys are able to jump into the ship, and I assume get your boarding pieces ready. But as you guys are doing that, you see kind of on the sensors, poor Atmosphere, one of the creatures kind of holds to him. You see its like lizard-like tail wrap around and strike out, and it does poke into Atmosphere. You see it poking through his suit, and you do see him slump unconscious, bleeding out. You see the self-repairing suit has not we were able to repair that wound. He is bleeding, dying, and with the vacuum of space, dying quickly. What do you guys do?
The ship does have some weapons, yes.
It does.
While Ratchet is piloting, I will take the guns and I will try to shoot that thing that's on the sphere. Creature X on the sphere. Without hitting the sphere.
All right. Ratchet, give me a piloting check. Edgar, give me a shooting check as you guys kind of hot start the ship and make your way to grab Miss Sphere and that valuable cargo.
12.
Solid. This Ratchet, you may not have been able to. Your piloting's not the best here, but luckily, Edgar is a hot shot right now. He is just like shooting off these aliens around poor Sphere as you get closer towards your fallen comrade. And the Sphere, give me another physical check.
There we go.
Nice. You're struggling right now. You're bleeding out. You're in the vacuum of space. But I don't know if the angels are speaking to you or just your will to survive is keeping you going. But you're able to keep yourself breathing. Your psychic powers are fueling you, and the vacuum of space isn't robbing you of life. The loss of blood isn't taking you down. You're able to keep yourself up as the what was it, the Angel's Arrow? The Angel's, what was it? The name of the ship?
Yeah.
Angel's Arrow wraps around. It is able to scoop you up. With guns blazing, pilots kind of jets firing as they wrap around and grab you, as well as the cargo that you are holding. You do see more of those aliens swarming towards you guys, trying to get through the hole. Are you guys going to try to stay for more?
So are they able to like maneuver through the vacuum of space somehow, or are you saying they're coming out of like the ship?
They are maneuvering, surprisingly.
Okay.
We have the box of credits and we have Miss Fear. I'm good. Close up. Let's go.
I mean, I'm basically out
I
of it,
would
but I think there's
would like
more
to-
loot to grab if you want to risk it.
I mean, let's get Miss Fear on the ship, and then we can consider getting some more stuff. But while we're getting him on the ship, I would like to kick the corpse of the betraying jackass off.
Poor Brady. You guys said you're going to come back for him, but we're going to leave him on board. But he's just trying to.
You know how many other locations we could have docked the ship to get to him that would have been better? We had other options. I'm not. We hadn't left yet. All right.
We didn't get back to him yet.
You know how good a hidey hole he had? He was fine. He was set. No.
Mesfear's body float. Not Mesfear's. Brady's body float out as Mesfear's body is pulled into it, clutching the crate that he marked. You guys are able to close up the Angel's Arrow. What are you guys doing?
How close are they?
They are coming closer. They are probably within. So there's some of them that are within 10 meters of the ship. Some of them are about 20 meters out. And you look around and kind of your scanners pick up the debris floating through, and you see about 50 of these guys closing in.
I say we get out of here. Close up and go.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are able to hit those engines. You see the flare up behind you. You are able to burn space away from the Acadia crew. So far intact. Does anybody have heal proficiency?
The one that's dying.
I don't think I actually have like a skill for it, but I'm pretty sure that the psychic power I acquired actually has it. Is it a psychic sucker? I'm sure that's exactly how it.
Oh, you're posted it. Let me see.
So I think I can use that.
Say otherwise, the military
yeah.
training would have given me some level of first aid.
Yeah, so you commit some effort. You haven't used the other psychic powers today, but yeah, you are able to stabilize Miss Fear. Eventually, I think it was after an hour or 10 minutes, 10 minutes it was, you will wake up with 1 HP as the Angel's Arrow is flying away from the Acadia, the doomed spaceship of the Veasan Corporation. You guys didn't get enough to retire off of, but you got a hell of a payday as you crack open that crate, as you see it stacked with credits upon credits. Definitely enough to upgrade the Angel, probably have a few drinks or two, and set you up for that next job in perfect timing. That is where we'll wrap up our session with Stars Without Number. So before we get into it, definitely, if you haven't yet, throw in SWN to the chat. Let me throw the contest in and get a chance to win a free The paid version of the Stars Without Number the PDF system, courtesy of Kevin Crawford. But definitely for anybody in the chat too, and go find that link now. We will throw in the free version they've got too, so everybody can run this system, which has like 80 to 90% of the rules within it. So if you haven't yet, throw it in and get your chance to win. And while we're waiting for that, I'll kind of see what the crew thinks of the system. This I think was everybody's first time playing Stars Without Numbers. You guys did surprisingly well, especially with that combat. I was worried, especially when you guys stayed to fight both times, that somebody was going to die there for that first combat that we did, but you guys made it out. This is usually a pretty lethal OSR style system in the vein of like Karen and Mort Borg. But yeah, I think everybody made it out. So I'll see what you guys think and throw SW in if you haven't yet for any of the viewers.
Well, I think being a ranged party for the most part served us well again in the combats. It allowed us to take down the enemy without risking too much. And with our melee combatant having 12 hit points,
And
that
18
was also...
armor.
That worked out really well.
Yeah, might have been a different story if there were more enemies with ranged weapons, or if we were in like areas that were less cover and such. But I knew as soon as I took a hit, I was going down. So that made me play very differently than I might have in other games, which is actually kind of a fun challenge to face up against.
Yeah, I like the system. I pretty much always like sci-fi setting stuff, and this has a feel all of its own. You know, I'm real steeped in D&D, and this has a lot of adjacency to it, just the way that the skills work, and obviously the ability scores are identical. So there's a lot of things like that that make this an easy transition point if you're looking to try something different from D&D or transition away from D&D, and try something sci-fi. And like you said, the skills are just straightforward. You know, exert putting extra effort in. Are you leading? Did you notice it? Are you punching something? You know, it's not convoluted, weird, extra fancy names to just sound different. So I like it.
Yeah, and the ability to use different abilities or attributes with different skills was kind of really fun to play around with, and it made me think a lot about, like, you know, when I do a notice check, like I'm using wisdom, but that forces me to think, okay, why am I using wisdom? What is my character actually doing in that moment? And that helped me stay more focused on the fiction and the story in a way that I didn't expect.
I do really. I like two big things with how they did skills. I like the 2d6 too. I feel like that's kind of like a different way to do it. I do feel like it's like I've always heard from like my more math inclined friends that I am that it is a more statistically even way to do it. I think it was kind of cool to see how that played out. And I do really like that they let people pick the attribute they want to use, because it does, I think, it does add a little bit more to the RP, as well as kind of the flavor for people's PCs. So that was definitely one thing I liked there. And I do like this because it really has that OSR feel, but it still captures like all the cool sci-fi stuff. I'm a huge science fiction fan, Star Wars stuff behind me, but it was nice to see. Like, I wasn't sure how OSR would mix with the sci-fi, but I feel like it does mix really well. So if you haven't yet, throw SWN in. We're gonna roll in a second. I see a couple questions in chat. Oh yeah, so one of them was, how would you handle deaths? So this one would be a little bit of a harder system, or not the system. This adventure would be a little bit harder to handle a death in. With all the OSR games, and one of the nice things, I forgot what page I said it was on, but in the PDF, I think for both the free and paid version, there's like a quick character creation guidelines. So with those, you can go through and make a character in like 5 minutes. So you could come back and we could have, instead of Brady, you may have found another one of the crew members that may be a little bit more inclined to join up with the crew, and they may have come across them and joined the adventure. It's one of the nice things with OSR style games for most of them is you can usually make a decent PC super quick and like rejoin the fight if you have some bad dice luck or death kind of beat you there. Sweet. So yeah, let's roll through. Let's see who gets the giveaway.
Hey, did we take the black box with us?
So you did.
Great, we can use it to blackmail the corporation.
So
Be able to retire after all.
shout outs to Rut13. You did win the free PDF giveaway. Email me so my email is teganjgaming@gmail. Email me with your email address. So it's kind of redundant there, and I will shoot you over the free copy of the paid version of the Stars Without Number system. But let me throw it in the chat for everybody who was not fortunate enough to win for the free version, which has like a good chunk of the core rules in there, so you could still get a chance to play Kevin Crawford's amazing system. And also, I do want to give a big shout out. Kevin Crawford was the one that covered the cost on this side. So for the paid version, he's the author of the system. He's able to help us out on this one. So huge shout outs to Kevin Crawford, and congrats on winning. We're at 1-3. So email me that tnjgaming@gmail, and I'll get that over to you. Yeah, as we wrap it up, I'm heading off to Gen Con tomorrow, so stay tuned to the YouTube. And actually, Ty is heading out to Gen Con as well, so I got a couple of us heading out there too. So looking forward to that. And then definitely stay tuned for August as we get into Marvel's multiverse role-playing game by Matt Forbeck. I'm looking forward to this one. And shout outs to, we got another Meet the Maker. Matt Forbeck is going to be joining me late August to go through the system. And I'm hopefully he's going to be at Gen Con, and I'm playing in one of the games. I'm hoping I get to meet him there too in person before. But shout outs to everybody. Rut, don't forget to email me when you get a second, and we'll make sure we get that over to you. But shout outs to everybody, and until next time, folks.